Here's hoping. Nelson ready to go. Jake Cronenworth walks to the plate. Has a quick hello, meet and greet with Eric Kratz.
Shortstop number 1, Jake Cronenworth.
And he's set to go. Cronenworth has hit safely in each game in this series so far. 1 for 5 in the opener with a run batted in. 1 for 4 with 2-run homer yesterday. Nelson's first pitch taken for a strike, and we get started a few moments late. 6:38, 73 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. Little peaks of sun here and there. Fastball down the pike, 97 miles per hour from Nick Nelson for a called strike.
Boy, you think he's pumped up, hitting 97 on his second pitch.
No balls, 2 strikes, the toss, a swing, and a foul.
That one came in at 98 from Nelson.
The wind right now, let's say variable, maybe 5 miles per hour at most. A light breeze out towards the Budweiser Railhouse. No balls, 2 strikes. Just underway at PNC Field. Nelson kicks and deals. Cronenworth watches up and outside. It's the pinstripe whites for Scranton, Wilkes, Barre. The R-rail cap to go with it. High blue socks for a couple of guys. Blue tops, gray pants, high blue socks for the Durham Bulls, AAA affiliate of the Tampa Bay Rays, offering down and inside. Now 2-2 the count. Leadoff man Jake Cronenworth with Emilio Bonifacio, who's hitless in this series in 8 at-bats. Jason Coates to follow here in the first. The 2-2, swing and a foul. Rail Riders, after a 4-2 loss yesterday, hopped on the bus, and we beat Durham back this way. Rail Riders got home at 6 o'clock this morning. The Bulls got to their hotel at 6:15. We win. Here's the 2-2. Breaking ball that doesn't drop, and the count taken full now, 3-2. So after a couple of hard strikes to start, Nelson sees this one go full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, leadoff man. Cronenworth has reached to start each game, and he'll do so again. That's high at 96, ball 4. Cronenworth singled off of Brian Keller in the first inning on Wednesday. Mike King walked him yesterday. Now Emilio Bonifacio to the plate with a runner aboard and nobody out. Just underway at PNC Field.
That's one of the things you worry about for Nick Nelson on that first batter. Seemed like he was overthrowing. Every fastball was missing up. The breaking balls were missing up. See him get it down a little.
Here's the toss. Misses high.
Now you've got a situation with Bonifacio at the plate. He's 0 for the series so far, 0 for 8 to start things off. But a veteran guy, you got to keep in mind maybe Durham plays for a run with a bunt. So Wendell Rijo looking for that at third base.
1 ball, no strikes. Bonifacio watches 95 running in. In a edge for a strike call. 0 for 3 in the opener, went 0 for 5 last night. He finished the regular season reaching in 8 straight games with a base hit. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 aboard, nobody out, top of the first. Pitch to Bonifacio, swing and a miss at 96. Easy looking swing and an easy looking fastball from Nick Nelson.
Yeah, much better location from Nelson, inside corner of the plate. A little bit above the knees, but not a bad spot to throw into Bonifacio.
1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Runner on at first base is Jake Cronenworth, the leadoff walk. Nelson from the stretch, fires, swing and a miss, chasing down and in at the feet. Good looking pitch from Nick Nelson. Strikeout of Bonifacio. 1 away in the inning. Jason Coates to the plate.
Take a look at the defense for the Rail Riders. Nick Nelson hasn't needed it yet, but should he? It's Mandy Alvarez at first base, Breivik Valera at second, Tyra Estrada at short, Wendell Rijo, the third baseman. Outfield is Gosuke Kato in left, Terrence Gore in center, Zach Zahner in right. Eric Kratz catches Nick Nelson's pitches.
Runner on at first base is Jake Cronenworth, being held on by Mandy Alvarez. First pitch to Jason Coates, taken inside for a ball. Coates, during the regular season, hit .250. 18 home runs, 50 runs batted in, playing in 92 games for the Durham Bulls during the regular slate. Hit into a team-high 13 double plays. Pitch delivered low, now 2-0 the count. Cronenworth started towards second, then stopped. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 away. Each game of this series, Jason Coates has 1 hit in 3 at-bats. Different magnitudes of hits. Series opener, he had a 3-run homer. Yesterday had a single. Here's the 2-0. Runs inside, 3 balls, no strikes, the count. Runner on at first base, and we're scoreless so far here at PNC Field.
Missing just a little bit inside was Nelson on that last pitch, so falling behind Coates with Dylan Cousins on deck, and you definitely don't want to face him with a couple of guys on.
3 balls, no strikes. Here's the toss home. Paints the outer edge for a strike. Coates started to walk across the plate. Stopped and retreats back for a 3-ball, 1-strike count. These teams played a 3-game series here at PNC Field in June, and the Rail Riders took 2 out of 3, which would not be good enough now. Scranton Wilkes-Barre needs to win 3 out of 3. Here's the 3-1. A little low, maybe wide. It's a walk issued. Second free pass in the inning. Now Dylan Cousins to the plate.
Not a good sign with 2 walks in the first inning. Yesterday, Mike King walked 4 for the Rail Riders, which is a little too many with a good lineup like what we've seen from Durham, one of the best on-base teams in the International League. In fact, the best in terms of on-base percentage. A team that knows how to work a walk, and they've made Rail Riders starters the last couple of days really fight to get him out.
Runners on at first and second, 1 out in the inning, the strikeout of Bonifacio. Here's Dylan Cousins, big left-handed bat. Nelson's first pitch, misses wide. Cousins, like Jason Coates ahead of him, is 1 for 3 in each game in this series with a pair of walks, 1 each night. We know him best for his time with the Lehigh Valley and the Philadelphia Phillies. Regular slate this year. Played in just 29 games. Check the swing. Ball kicks away from Eric Kratz. Neither runner will advance. 1-1 the count on Cousins as he was trying to hold off on a ball that had a better chance of hitting the plate than his bat. Now 1-1 the count. 29 games played, dealing with foot issue this year. Thought his season was done. It was not. Phillies let him go, which was a shock to most everybody, both across the International League and within the Phillies system. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 away. The pitch to Cousins, swing and a miss. 95-mile-an-hour fastball and a swing trying to match. Now 1-2 the count.
And obviously the strikeouts have been problematic for Cousins throughout his career, especially once he got to the AAA level. But, I mean, this is a guy who in 2016 had a 40 home run season. Led the minors in home runs with the Reading Fightin' Phils.
Here's the 1-2. Swing and a pop-up foul.
So he's someone who still has that tremendous power potential. And you understand why Tampa and I guess to a lesser extent Durham, they wanted him here to see if maybe under a new organization they could untap that a little bit.
And the foot problem that ultimately subsided the bulk of this season doesn't end his year, so it's a chance for Tampa to get a look at him late before next year. Breaking ball just missed. Almost dropped it in on from Nick Nelson to Dylan Cousins. Cousins has played a total of 27 games in the majors over portions of 2 years. Just a 154 average, 1 homer, 2 runs batted in. 24 strikeouts in 27 games. 39 at bats. Here's the pitch down and in. It skips past Eric Kratz and all the way to the backstop. And the wild toss will move Cronenworth to third. Coates into second. Takes the count full 3-2 on Dylan Cousins. We've got Kevin Padlow, who's got a home run in this series, awaiting in the on-deck circle. The shift is on for Cousins, and Scranton Wilkes-Barre would be willing to concede a first inning run if Cousins puts it on the ground. Wendell Rijos standing all by himself, the lone white jersey on the left side of the infield. Here's the 3-2 to Cousins. Crackback ground ball. Fielded by Estrada. Will throw to first. It's an RBI ground out for Dylan Cousins and a 1-0 Durham lead. The shift on, the broken bat eases it into the glove of Estrada.
Yeah, I don't think that it was a bad idea for the Rail Riders to trade that run for the out. It's the first inning, it's early, and you avoid perhaps a bigger inning because bring the infield in, and that ball gets through. Now you're looking at a 2-0 Durham lead, and you don't have that second out to count for it.
2 down in the inning. Runner on at third is Jason Coates. 1-0 Durham in front. Pitch runs outside. The bender misses low and wide at 86. Couple of walks in the inning. Still not a hit for Durham. 5th batter up now. It's Kevin Padlow. 1 for 7 in the series. The 1-0 toss is low. Skips away from Eric Kratz. Rolls harmlessly wide of the circle. Not enough to allow Coates to come in to score. Nick Nelson. Last pitch for Scranton Wilkes-Barre at the tail end of the regular season. He then went down to Florida. His girlfriend was due this week. They, I believe, induced on Tuesday or Wednesday, and now he's back. Here's the 2-0, delivered low. 3 balls and no strikes the count. And he's put pretty much a prime spot when he comes back north. 3 balls, no strikes the count. Dalton Kelly awaits on deck. Nelson in danger of walking his 3rd batter this inning. The pitch just outside, ball 4. 3rd walk issued in the inning. It'll send Padlow down to first base. Dalton Kelly to the plate with runners on the corners. Pitching coach Tommy Phelps is going to walk to the mound, and the Rail Riders will have to get an arm started in their pen.
Yeah, some stirring now in the bullpen is Nick Nelson rolling up close to 30 pitches in this first inning. He got the short shrift a little bit on the one breaking ball to Cousins that he thought he had him backdoored on, and then I think that 4th ball to Padlow. But for the most part, he's been missing fairly either high or wide, and then a couple of times down in the dirt this inning. He's been a little bit all over with the command, and you just wonder for a guy who normally doesn't have that problem, whether it's the jitters and just the hectic travel week that it's been for him, as you just chronicled, perhaps playing a role in some of his early difficulties with him just finding the feel for the baseball.
Left-hander Joe Mantiply starts taking warm-up throws out in the bullpen for Scranton Wilkes-Barre. Still a chance to get out of this inning with Dalton Kelly stepping to the plate. Last outing was a win for Nick Nelson. He went 5 innings of 6-hit, 4-run ball against the Buffalo Bisons last Saturday. He struck out 6, didn't walk a single batter. Runners on the corners, 1-0 Durham in front. Nelson's conversation is over. Pause and the first pitch, swing and a foul. Kelly knocks it into the ground. Eric Kratz picks that up and gives it right back to Nick Nelson. Kelly went hitless yesterday in a couple of bats with a walk. During the regular season, a .283 average, did hit 7 home runs for Durham. No balls, 1 strike. Runner starts, stops, a swing and a foul. Now an 0-2 count. Quick glance for you at the big league side of things. The Yankees are at Fenway, and they got an earlier start today. They're into the 8th inning, bottom 8, in fact. It's 4-0 New York in front. Jay Happ went 6 innings, 6 1/3 without allowing a run, of course. Edwin Encarnacion homered. No balls, 2 strikes, 1-0 Durham in front. Jason Coates, the lead runner at third. Kelly chokes up, runner goes, pitch is grounded to Wendell Rijo, past Wendell Rijo. First and third for Kevin Padlow, and it's an RBI single for Dalton Kelly. Jason Coates will score, 2-0 Durham in front.
And 2 runs now for Durham. That's just their first hit of the inning. Ball slapped the other way, and Rijo with the diving effort thought originally that he was going to have a chance to make a play on that ball, but just snuck underneath his glove. Got through into left field, and now 2-0 Durham.
Here's Rocky Gale. Didn't play in the opener, but had a couple of hits last night. Catcher who started his season in the Dodgers organization. Time called as Dalton Kelly will go replace some dirt dug up by Kevin Padlow while he was trying to take off on that last pitch. 2-0 Durham in the lead. Rail Riders have not yet even come to the plate against Blake Snell. Pitch to Gale, swing and a miss, 96 on the fastball. That pitch count elevated here in the first opportunity against Nick Nelson. Rail Riders will have to try to match that, perhaps, knowing it's 20 pitches or an inning against Blake Snell before Aaron Slegers takes over. The 0-1 toss. Inner edge for a called strike. Yet another opportunity to get out of this inning. He went 0-2 on Dalton Kelly for that RBI single. Nelson shakes off the first sign from Kratz, likes the second. Gale, a right-handed hitting catcher. Runner goes, the pitch breaks outside. Now 1-2, and it's a steal for Dalton Kelly to take second. 2 to scoring position. Nick Nelson's past the 30 pitch mark in this inning. One ball, 2 strikes. Right-hander looks back to second. Here's the pitch home to Gale. Swing and a foul back. 84 on the bender. 35 pitches for Nick Nelson. Needs to get Rocky Gale and then allow a decision to be made whether or not he comes back out for the second inning. He will not face left-hander Nathan Lucas awaiting on deck. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The toss to Gale. Line drive, fair, down to the right field corner. That's going to play to pair. Gale into second with a stand-up double. Zach Zahner bobbles it a little bit in right field, but Gale wasn't advancing any further. 2 score. It's 4-0 Durham in front. Nathan Lucas to the plate.
Boy, not a bad pitch at all from Nick Nelson. Got the fastball in on Gale and was just able to inside out that one down the right field line. 2 outs, runners going on contact, no question. They were both coming in, and Gale hustled him way into second base for the double. And now Nick Nelson, 36 pitches in. This might be his last batter.
I'm surprised he's staying in to face Nathan Lucas. Gale on at second, the pitch to Lucas. This is outside. 4-0 Durham in front. That lead was good enough yesterday. The Rail Riders didn't chip away until their last at bat with just a couple of runs. They had opportunities late, but couldn't even things Friday night. Here's the 1-0 toss to Lucas. It bounces past Eric Kratz to the backstop. Over to third. Wide turn by Gale. Kratz taking his time to get to the baseball, and Nelson was forced to sprint home. Gale was thinking about taking the plate, and Brady Williams thought about sending him. 2 balls, no strikes the count on Nathan Lucas. The Rail Riders are now an easy base hit away from falling behind 5-0 in this game. Two balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch. Misses high. 4-0, not insurmountable. Neither is 5 for that matter, but you need that last out. Let's get to the dugout. The pitch, swing and a miss. 3-0 offering a chase by Nathan Lucas. Another fastball from Nick Nelson, right-hander. Laboring here in the inning and throwing more pitches in any one frame than I think we've seen a Rail Riders pitcher use this year. It's past 40. Here's the 3-1 home. Swing and a foul.
And Lucas helped him out, swung at ball 4. That pitch was up and above the letters and went chasing at the 95-mile-an-hour fastball. So now, again, Nelson a chance with 1 strike here to get through this inning and limit the damage to just the 4 runs.
3 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs, runner on at third. 4-0 Durham in the lead. Nelson's pitch, swing and a foul. Last offering Bounced off one of the wires that holds the netting behind the home plate area up. And landed out on the field. This one caroms off the sweet level and almost hits a photographer. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 4 runs across. Here's the pitch to Lucas. Swing and a foul tip, and Nelson gets out of the inning. But 8 batters, 4 runs on 2 hits and 1 man left. Durham.
Leading off the Carolina second baseman, number 9, Barre.
Breivik Valera leads it off. Tyro Estrada and Kyle Higashioka do up this half inning for Scranton. Wilkes-Barre already work to do. Valera steps in against Major League rehabber Blake Snell. Snell slated to go 20 pitches against the Rail Riders here. 1 inning. First pitch misses high. Snell was the 2018 American League Cy Young Award winner, went 21-5 with a 1.89 ERA over 31 appearances. Here's the 1-0. Misses upstairs. Good work, Breivik. This year, he's 6-7 with a 4.28 ERA. Snell has 136 strikeouts over 101 innings at the big league level. Lefty kicks and deals the 2-0, misses up. Placed on the 10-day injured list after having surgery to remove a loose body in his left elbow. Targeting a return to the mound in the big leagues within the next week or so. 3 balls, no strikes. Slow wind, kick, and pitch by Snell. Framed for the strike by Rocky Gale. Brings that one back to the edge of the plate. 4 pitches. 3 balls, 1 strike to count. Snell steps back. Will kick and deal, and Valera lofts it foul.
So now 5 pitches in for Snell. That's a quarter of his pitch count for the night, and Breivik Valera is still up at the plate. All according to plan.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Leadoff man for the Rail Riders, down 4-0. The lefty's pitch is high, ball 4. Valera works the leadoff walk. Now Tyro Estrada to the plate. Blake Snell pitched for Durham 7 times 2 years ago. 7 starts, was 5-0 with a 2.66 ERA. The year prior went 3-5 with a 3.29 earned run average. Always one of the high-end guys coming up through the Rays system. Of course, Cy Young will cap that off pretty quickly. Toss to Breivik Valera, misses wide. How about the game from Breivik Valera yesterday? Helping the Trenton Thunder, along with Luis Severino and Dylan Betances. Game 3 of their first-round playoff series against Reading. Trenton had won the first 2 games. They were at home, so chance to clinch it last night at Arm & Hammer Park. Pitch to Estrada, line drive to right field. 1 hops to Dylan Cousins. He bobbles it. Valera's going to try to take third and does. It's a single for Tyro Estrada and an E9. Allows the Rail Riders to get a runner in scoring position very quickly here.
Boy, and when Tyro Estrada's at his best, that's what he's doing. Solid line drives the other way. He just smoked that offering from Blake Snell. The bobble from Dylan Cousins sets up first and third with nobody out. And Kyle Higashioka at the plate, who's sparked so many rallies for the Rail Riders this week alone.
Indeed he has. Runners on the corners. Snell's going to get a new baseball, and they'll get a shift on for Higashioka. This shift is not 4 across the outfield. Instead, it's 3 on the left side. Runners on the corners. Activity started out in the bullpen. Here's the toss home to Higgy. Dips in for the strike. Snell takes plenty off it to 76. And
Good take by Higgy that time. Looked like he was set up, waiting for a first pitch fastball, got the off-speed curve, so just let it go by rather than swing and be far out in front.
It is Aaron Slegers taking warm-up tosses in the bullpen. Not going to use another arm to bridge the gap to get from one pitcher to the next. Higashioka fouls it backwards. Now an 0-2 count on Higgy. Tyro Estrada yesterday helping the Trenton Thunder take out Reading 12-2. Estrada was 3 for 3 with a walk, 5 runs batted in, 2 runs scored. Luis Severino struck out 5 over 3 innings. Sevy throwing 50 pitches to do so. Dylan Betances walked a batter, struck out a batter. No balls, 2 strikes, runners on the corners, Rail Riders down by 4. Here's the pitch, upstairs. Read somewhere last night on the bus ride back that the last time Betances pitched for Trenton, he was a member of their starting rotation. And not necessarily a good one. Something like a 7+ ERA when he was with Trenton a few years ago, but it's turned into a valuable member of the Yankees bullpen when healthy. Here's the 1-2 to Higashioka. Check the swing, peel, and he went through the zone. Strikeout of Higashioka. First out in the inning. Now Eric Kratz to the plate.
Rung up by first base umpire Eric Bacchus tonight was Higgy. It was a pretty close one, and going to have to at least defer to Bacchus on that one. But yeah, remember coming up, Dylan Betances was part of a trio of Yankees pitching prospects, the Killer Bees, him, Manny Banuelos, and Andrew Brackman. And Betances, as a reliever, has been the only one who's really panned out in the bigs.
Runners on the corners. First toss to Eric Kratz. Line drive, center field, base hit. Estrada will take second and stop. Single by Eric Kratz. Scranton Wilkes-Barre's on the board. Rail Riders trail it 4-1 here in the home half of the first inning. Tying run steps to the plate, first baseman Mandy Alvarez.
Heard a lot of talk about exit velocity this year. That one from Kratz, a ton of exit velo, right back up the gut on the first pitch fastball, squared it up nicely, brings in the first run, and that's at least a little sigh of relief for the Rail Riders. Even if they only get 1 run, they got 1 run here in the first. You don't have to get all 4 at once.
Valera scores, Estrada to second, Kratz with the RBI. 13 pitches now for Snell, and Mandy Alvarez will call time. Estrada takes his lead. He's being held on by Jim Haley, newcomer up from AA Montgomery. Ball bounces in, blocked well by Rocky Gale. Skipped off his leg and rolled in front of the plate. Now 1-0 the count on Mandy Alvarez. Snell, the rehab start. He'll go to the bullpen momentarily to get Slegers. And even when it was announced that Blake Snell was going to pitch here, Mandy Alvarez takes a walk out of the box. The bat boy is going to bring a couple extra baseballs to home plate umpire Brian Peterson. Just buying a little extra time for wherever that caught Rocky Gale. It was a nice block, but perhaps a painful one at that. Even when it was announced that he was going to pitch, we knew then it was likely only 1 inning and a low pitch count. Almost enough to make me wonder, are the logistical costs worth it?
That's a good question.
Runners on at first and second. Mandy Alvarez at the plate. Snell checks. Here's the 1-0 home. Delivered low. 2 balls, no strikes the count. Wherever he was, sending him here. And if he's going to meet up with the Rays somewhere along the way, or just head back down to Tampa. And the argument I used for not sending him is Tyler Glasnow. Pitch delivered low, 3 balls, no strikes to count. Glasnow's on this roster for Durham on a big league rehab assignment. But Yahoo Sports reported on Thursday that Glasnow had thrown a side at the Trop down in Tampa and that he was going to come off the injured list and pitch tomorrow for the Rays. Check of second. Here's the 3-0. Mandy watches a called strike. At what point do you not just let Blake Snell throw a simulated game or a side down in Tampa? Is it really worth the logistics of sending your Cy Young Award winner to Philly, to Music, then back to wherever he's heading next for one inning? The Rays thought so. Here's the 3-1 home. Down and inside, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. And that might be the last pitch for Blake Snell.
And just to piggyback on what you're saying, the Montgomery Biscuits, the Rays AA team, they're at home tonight. They're playing a game in the Southern League semifinals, so it's not like they don't have another affiliate that's playing today if they wanted to have them throw.
Maybe they don't like the mound.
That could be it.
Here's Gosuke Katoh with the bases loaded. Scranton Wilkes-Barre down 4-1, looking for a quick rally to answer that top half of the first inning. Snell is still out there. Runners all around the bases against the Cy Young winner. First pitch to Gosuke. Runs inside, backs him off the plate. 18 pitches prior to this Gosuke Katoh at bat. And seemingly unlikely that they would pull him out mid at bat. Here's pitch number 20. The 1-0, Katoh, swing and a miss. It's an arbitrary number. It's got a little wiggle room. But if Katoh finds his way aboard, if the Rail Riders can avoid a double play here, Aaron Slager's Zach Zahner might be next. Katoh will step out, wipe some sweat off his face. Left-handed hitting left fielder tonight for Scranton Wilkes-Barre, with some darker clouds drifting overhead. Lefty on lefty with Snell, the 1-1 breaks down and in. You can see the skies clearing off in the distance over towards Taylor and I-81. But right now, darker and almost threatening clouds on top of PNC Field. 2 balls, 1 strike, the count. Bases full with 1 away, 4-1 Bulls. The pitch to Gosuke. Slow at 79 for a called strike. Now 2-2 the count on Katoh.
Really good curveball from Blake Snell that time, just front toward Gosuke Katoh, and Rocky Gale, a good frame job behind home plate to get the strike call as well.
He's done a couple times here in the first inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch home, Katoh, swing and a foul. Comes back with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. About 17 miles per hour on the uptick. And now Snell wants a conversation with Rocky Gale. Yankees up 5-0. They just scored a run in the top half of the 9th inning. 5-0 New York in the lead. Yankees are still batting, and it's Gleyber Torres right now against Mike Shawaryn. Yankees have gone Happ, Ottavino, Canely, and Britton out of the pen today. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Bases are loaded for the Rail Riders. We've gotten 1 run back. Let's avoid this double play ball. Try to get another. Here's the 2-2 to Gosuke. Swing and a miss. And Brady Williams will make the walk. Blake Snell strikes out 2, walks 2, and is responsible for all 3 runners around the bases right now. Aaron Slager's to be summoned from the bullpen. Zach Zahner, a right-on-right matchup when we return in 60 seconds on NEPA Sports Radio, The Game. Out of the bullpen comes Aaron Slager's 6'10", 245-pounder from Scottsdale, Arizona. He was picked up the tail end of spring training from the Pittsburgh Pirates organization. We saw him last year while pitching for the Rochester Red Wings. Slager's trying to find a home with the Tampa Bay Rays and put together a decent season with AAA baseball standards, all things considered.
26 games overall for Slagers. 15 of those were starts, 6-7 with a 5.05 ERA. 80 strikeouts, but just 28 walks in 112 and a third innings for Slagers. However, since the beginning of July, his ERA is below 3 here with Durham. So it was a slow start for him, but he's been able to turn it on down the home stretch of the season.
Zach Zahner to the plate. It's 4-1, Durham in front. Snell goes 2/3 of an inning, gives up 2 hits, 1 run for now, a couple of walks and a couple of strikeouts. Zach Zahner stands in. Zach was hitless in the series opener, 2 for 4 with a run batted in yesterday. First pitch breaks across the plate for a strike. Zahner hit .266 for the Rail Riders during the regular season. 9 homers, 37 runs batted in. Rode that Scranton shuttle. Probably for his liking, one too many times to Trenton this year. The 0-1, Zahner swings over top of the breaking ball. Now an 0-2 count, and Slagers is a strike away from mopping up an inning that the Cy Young Award winner started. Around the bases, Estrada, Kratz, and Mandy Alvarez. Single plates 1 easily, maybe 2 if Doug Davis is feeling frisky at third. Pitch to Zahner, swing and a miss. And the strikeout ends the inning. 1 run, 2 hits, 3 men left on. It's 4-1, Durham in front after an inning of play on NEPA Sports Radio, The Game. Is Jim Haley making his AAA debut? Haley was brought up from AA Montgomery earlier today when Mike Brasso was recalled to the Major League roster for the Rays. First toss to Haley, right-handed hitting infielder taken for a strike. Mantiply deals, and he'll reach up and pop it into the air to left. Gosuke Kato lost it off the bat. Fortunately, that ball had plenty of carry. Kato finds it in this cloudy sky, and just a couple of steps in to make an easier play of it than it really could have been for Gosuke. 1 down in the inning. Jake Cronenworth now to the plate.
Yeah, this dusk time, always the toughest time for outfielders to find fly balls. You're staring up. You've got lights going. You've got an awkward colored sky.
First pitch, strike called. Lefty on lefty with Jake Cronenworth. Emilio Bonifacio to follow. Here's the toss, 0-1, a little bit low. Cronenworth walked on a 3-2 count to start the game. This after Nick Nelson quickly got ahead. 0-2. Ground ball slowly rolled to the right side. Scooped up by Breivik. Valera will throw to first in time. 4-3 put away, now 2 outs in the inning. The Yankees are just about set to finish off that 5-0 victory. The Trenton Thunder do not have to play tonight. That's good news. But looks like they do know their opponent for the Eastern League title. The Thunder vanquished the Reading Fightins 3-0 in that best-of-5 series to advance to the championship round. First pitch to Bonifacio is taken for a strike. Harrisburg and Bowie on the flip side. And Cedric Mullins hits for the cycle. Pitch runs in or edge for the strike. Helping the Bay Sox into the championship series. So starting on Tuesday night, it's Trenton taking on Bowie.
What a pretty unbelievable season that Bowie's had down in AA.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swinging a bouncer back to the mound. One big hop from Mantiply will throw to first just in time to get Bonifacio. A little more on the AA playoffs when we come back. Slagers struck out Zach Zahner with the bases loaded. First pitch to Wendell Rijo, down and inside for a ball. Got Zahner on 3 pitches. Base hit could have brought the Rail Riders back within maybe even 1. Offering Anthony's for a strike. Talking up the Eastern League playoffs. Trenton Thunder are into the championship round. They'll take on Bowie starting at Arm & Hammer Park on Tuesday night. Ground ball to third. Easily gloved by Padlow. Will throw to first in time to get Riho. 5-3 put away sends Terrence Gore to the plate. A 5-hit game for Cedric Mullins. Drives in 3 runs. And a guy who was in the big leagues earlier this season is helping the Double-A club for the Orioles organization into the championship series.
And that's a team that, without the first half, second half format that the Eastern League switched to this year, never would have been in the playoffs to begin with.
First pitch taken for a strike on Terrence Gore.
They finished with the 3rd best overall record in the Western Division of the Eastern League, but they won the second half after an awful first half.
Bouncing ball towards third. That will skip foul. Quickly 0-2 on Gore.
8 games under 500 in the first half of the season. Bowie had the best record in the Eastern League, won 46 games in the second half to win the Western Division and got through the first round.
Ball bounces in. The Baltimore Orioles South Atlantic League club made it to the postseason this year, the Delmarva Shorebirds. And they put together one of the best seasons, arguably in league history. Here's the 1-2 home. Spins outside. They won both halves.
Yep.
Delmarva won 42 games, lost 27 in the second half of the season after going 48-21 in the first half. Here's the 2-2 to Gore, low. Now full 3-2. That's a 90-win season for the Delmarva Shorebirds. The club that just knocked them out in a series sweep, the Hickory Crawdads, finished second in the division with 83 wins, swinging a foul back. And the teams that made the postseason from the South Atlantic League Southern Division, 77 wins for Augusta, 68 wins for Lexington. And the 90-win team was the first eliminated. It was a swing and a miss by Gore, and a ball in the dirt. 2 down in the inning, and it's back to the top of the order to Breivik Valera.
That's wild. And I didn't even know this until just now, but back up at the Eastern League, Erie had the best record. That's the Detroit Double-A team in the Western Division. They didn't make the playoffs because they didn't win one of the 2 halves. Harrisburg got the first half, and obviously Bowie the second.
Here's the toss to Breivik Valera, outer edge for a strike from Aaron Slegers. That's really the one flaw of the split schedule. I was a fan of it because it allows you to generate interest twice during a season. You get to the All-Star break, oh, we're in the playoff race or we're not. But don't worry about it if we're not, because there's the second half of the year. Here's the 1-1 home. Breaks a little low. And I wanted to be the team that always won the second half, because you win the first half, you were really good. Your roster might get decimated for call-ups to, say, the Florida State League. Pitch to Valera, slices this one, foul towards the Coast Pavilion. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count with 2 down here in the bottom of the second inning. I like the momentum, something carrying you into the postseason. So certainly the ability to celebrate and then play playoff games days later. The upside is, of course, you win the first half, you can promote it and sell some tickets and maybe pack the house. Here's the 2-2. Valera swing and a miss. Fastball at 89. Slegers shuts down the side here in the inning. No runs, no hits, nobody left. It's 4-1 Durham in front to the third on NEPA Sports Radio, The Game.
Jason Coates, Dylan Cousins, and Kevin Padlow do up against Joe Mansupply. Begins his second inning of relief behind Nick Nelson. Gave up 4 runs in 1 inning today, just 2 hits allowed, but 3 walks. The first pitch to Coates is in at the knees for a called strike. The count 0-1. It's 3 up, 3 down for Joe Mansupply on just 8 pitches in the second inning. And the lefty acquired from the Cincinnati Reds earlier in the year digs in, fires a pitch that's fouled back by Coates. Count 0-2. Mansupply acquired on August 9th for cash considerations. Made an appearance up in the big leagues with the Yankees. The 0-2, check swing from Coates. They peel down to first, no swing. And according to first base umpire Eric Bacchus, Ryan Peterson's on balls and strikes. Ryan Wills is at third base. Crew chief Dan Merzel is the second base umpire today. 1-2 to Coates. Hit on the ground to second base. Ranging to his left, Breivik Valera scoops it up, sidearms to first. That retires Jason Coates 4-3 on the ground out. Joe Mantiply with 3 ground ball outs of the 4 batters he's retired. 1 gone at the top of the third. 4-1 Durham.
Cash considerations are always my favorite kind of considerations. Mantiply went up to the New York Yankees, made 1 appearance. He was optioned to the Rail Riders and then designated for assignment, outrighted to Scranton Wilkes-Barre. Both he and Brady Lael pretty much that same track to get back to this roster just in time for the postseason run.
First pitch to Dylan Cousins, misses for a ball, count 1-0. Cousins, RBI ground out his first time up into the shift. As he big swings and misses at the pitch, and the count 1-1.
Wasn't necessarily surprised that Mantiply was able to be outrighted here. A lot of teams had the ability to pick him up multiple times over this season.
Pitch back, strike, and the count 1-2 to Dylan Cousins.
I did think, though, that Brady Lael might have been a candidate to be picked up by another club. He's been in the Yankees organization his entire career.
Cousins fouls the 1-2 pitch off at the plate. Might have caught a piece of himself in the batter's box as he walks it off. Stays 1-2.
And Mantiply is a little bit more of a known commodity in baseball versus Lael, so wouldn't have surprised me, like the Dylan Cousins route, that somebody could have taken an opportunity to go after Brady and pick him up from the Yankees.
Mantiply winds the 1-2 pitch to Cousins, misses low, and the count 2-2 strikes. Davey Garcia up in the Rail Riders bullpen, beginning his warm-up tosses. Mantiply, when we last saw him, went 2 1/3 on Tuesday against Syracuse. The 2-2 pitch misses low, and the count 3-2 to Cousins. Lefty-lefty matchup with Mantiply and Dylan Cousins. And a whole lot of height on both sides. The 6'4" Mantiply dwarfed by the 6'6" Dylan Cousins. 3-2. Swing and a miss. He went to the off-speed and had Cousins swinging over the top. 2 outs in the inning as Joe Mantiply picks up his first strikeout. Third for Rail Riders pitching.
You mentioned Tuesday, Mantiply pitching for Scranton Wilkes-Barre. Davey Garcia also pitched. In fact, the Rail Riders fell behind 5-0 in the first inning on Tuesday. Stick with me here. We fell 4 behind in the first inning here today.
First pitch to Kevin Padlow is hit off the end of the bat, up the middle, and snow-coned by Estrada, but he drops the ball, just spun out of his glove, and it falls in safely in shallow center field. Kevin Padlow aboard, and we'll see a determination on that one. It was a tricky play for Estrada with the spin on that ball going up the middle, but just had it in his glove and wasn't able to make the squeeze.
2/3 of an inning from Adonis Rosa on Tuesday. Mantiply took over, pitched the Rail Riders through the end of the third. And then Davey Garcia came in to pitch in the 4th inning.
So here's Dalton Kelly, another lefty against the southpaw Mantiply. First pitch breaking ball, misses for a ball, count 1-0.
Yeah, lefty on lefty here with Rocky Gale, right-handed hitting catcher to follow. See if Mantiply can get you to the 3rd inning and then bring Garcia in the 4th, as you did on Tuesday. We know how it finished.
Look over at first. And the toss. Ripped hard to first base. It hits off of Mandy Alvarez's ankle, caroms into foul territory, and Dalton Kelly is going to reach as the throw goes towards second. Kevin Padlow dives back in ahead of no tag from Tyro Estrada. So a fielding error by Estrada and then a single for Dalton Kelly that got right underneath the glove of Alvarez, then hit him on the right foot. And it's 2 on and 2 out here in the top of the third for Durham with a 4-1 lead.
Eric Kratz having some sort of conversation with Ryan Peterson halfway towards the mound, but Kratz never got out to talk to Mantiply. And Peterson, as he walks back, waves it off, no mound visit. It was an umpire visit near the mound. Pitcher started towards and then walked away wisely.
How many visits are the umps allowed?
As many as they want. It's their show.
So now Rocky Gale with runners on first and second and 2 outs. Mantiply looks back at second where Padlow stands in the pitch. Fastball called to strike the letters. Count 0-1 to Rocky Gale.
2-run double for Gale in the first inning that broke this one open for the Durham Bulls.
Rocky Gale began his professional career in the San Diego Padres organization. A 1 pitch. He swings and fouls it back at a count 0-2. Drafted in the 24th round back in 2010 out of the University of Portland. I don't see too many pro ball players coming out of Portland. The university, not necessarily the city. Although that is also where Rocky Gale was born, Portland, Oregon. Set in the 0-2. Hit off the end of the bat, up the middle, and it'll snake its way into center field, a base hit. Round third and in to score Kevin Padlow. First to third, Dalton Kelly, and it's an RBI single for Rocky Gale and a 5-1 Durham lead in the top of the third inning. A 2-out error by Tyro Estrada comes back to bite the Rail Riders as Padlow comes in with an unearned run against Mansupply.
Lefty on lefty now with Nathan Lucas. Jim Haley is on deck if Mansupply can't get the Rail Riders out of this inning. Run they got back in the home half of the first inning squandered. Back to a 4-run deficit. Davey Garcia is ready to go.
So Lucas digs in. 25-year-old left-handed batter. First pitch. Fastball misses inside. The count 1-0 strikes. It's Dalton Kelly aboard at third base. Rocky Gale at first. Lucas 0 for 1. He struck out to end the first inning his first time up. Mansupply trying to retire him to end another inning here in the third. Joe set right above the belt and the 1-0 pitch. Ground ball off the mound and into center field. A base hit as it low-bridged Dan Merzel at second base. In from third, Dalton Kelly. They throw back to second, and Rocky Gale picked off. Too wide of a turn at second, and Gale thrown out. Terrence Gore with the heads-up play in center to end the inning, but the run does come home to score, and it's a 6-1 Durham lead heading to the bottom of the third inning. But the Bulls running themselves out of this one. They lead at 6-1 on NEPA Sports Radio, The Game. As Rail Riders continuing to have to play from behind, look at a rally against the 6'10 Slagers. Starts his second inning of work, and first pitch to Tyro is in for a strike with a breaking ball, count 0-1.
Nice framework there from Rocky Gale, bringing that one back to the zone.
Slager steals the 0-1 pitch. This is low in the count 1-1.
Davey Garcia likely to take over for the Rail Riders in the top half of the fourth inning. Unfortunately, that deficit has grown.
1-1 pitch slapped on the ground at third base. Padlow to his left, throws wide to first, but Dalton Kelly able to make the play, keeping his foot on the bag to retire Tyro Estrada, who's now 1 for 2. And there's one gone here in the bottom of the third inning. So Kyle Higashioka at the plate, struck out swinging his first time up. It's a 6-1 lead for the Durham Bulls with 1 out, the bases empty in the bottom of the third inning, as the freshly minted 27-year-old Aaron Slagers winds and fires first pitch to Higgy. It's called the strike and the count 0-1.
Pretty solid week for Higashioka. A couple homers on Tuesday to put him to the 20 home run plateau.
Pitch misses outside Higgy and the count 1-1 strike.
Homered in yesterday's game. Unfortunately, it led off the 9th inning rather than coming in the 8th with runners on.
1-1 pitch fouled off at the plate, caught a piece of Brian Peterson, home plate umpire. Shaking out his left hand after that one, count 1-2. It's been a good week for Higgy at the plate. He's trying to do his best to continue to be the guy that sparked some big rallies for this team. 1-2. This is low in the count, 2-2 strikes. For Aaron Slagers, celebrated a birthday on Wednesday. 2-2 pitch is fouled back by Higgy, and we'll do it again at 2-2.
Wendell Rijo just celebrated a birthday as well.
Yep.
Rail Riders infielder turned 24 on Wednesday.
2-2. Gashioka fouls it off. Doug Davis, third base coach, goes and makes the play and flips it into the crowd. We'll do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Hickey this season, just 10 games played with the Yankees at the big league level. Had his best year to date at the plate, despite the limited number of games. A couple of stints on the roster when Gary Sanchez went on the injured list.
2-2 pitch. Curveball in there. Strike 3 called. Slagers just dropped it in, and Hickey just turned and walked away. A couple of words for Brian Peterson while he was on his way back, but 2 out in the inning. That'll bring up Eric Kratz with the bases empty and a 6-1 Durham lead.
Hickey batted .256 for the Yankees this season in those 10 games played, and when the Rail Riders season does officially come to a close, would venture a guess that he'll find his way back to New York for the last couple of weeks of the regular season to help spell Gary Sanchez and Austin Romine.
First pitch was a swing and a miss by Kratz at a fastball, count 0-1. Kratz awaits in the pitch, hit on the ground to third base. Kevin Padlow up with it. Straightens out and throws to first in time to retire the catcher Kratz, and that'll do it for a 1-2-3 inning for Aaron Slagers in the bottom of the third. It's a 6-1 Durham lead as we head to the top of the fourth here on APA Sports Radio, The Game. Go to the top of the fourth inning. Third pitcher of the game in for the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders. Joe Mansupply, 2 innings and outs, and Davey Garcia enters for the Rail Riders, making his postseason debut this year.
During the regular slate with Scranton Wilkes-Barre, 1-3 with a 5.40 ERA, 11 games, including 6 starts at the outset. Total of 40 innings, 39 hits, 45 strikeouts, and 20 walks for Davey. Opposition hit .262 against the youngster, just 20 years old. You'll see Jim Haley, Jake Cronenworth, and Emilio Bonifacio here in the top half of the fourth inning. The Rail Riders trail by 5 with their season on the brink.
Joe Mansupply, 2 innings, 3 hits, 2 unearned runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. In relief of Nick Nelson, who got things going for the Rail Riders, gave up 4 runs in the top of the first inning. So now Davey out there to try and bridge the gap here in the middle innings as he winds and fires. The first pitch to Jim Haley, cranked high, deep, and foul, well out of the ballpark and over towards the parking lot. Count 0-1. Jim Haley, this is a semi-homecoming for him. Closest he's played to home in quite some time. As the pitch misses low and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Born in Lansdowne, Pennsylvania, right outside of Philadelphia, about 2 hours due south of here. 1-1 pitch, chopped on the ground up the middle, but Breivik Valera there in the shift. He gloves and throws to first in time to get Haley, who was hustling 4-3. And there's 1 out here in the top of the fourth inning.
Haley went to Penn State, was a 19th round pick of the Rays in 2016. So a couple of years at Penn State, 3 seasons, in fact, for the Nittany Lions. Played his first season. Their short season club is Hudson Valley. Now, Manny Alvarez is going to swap gloves. Issue with the first baseman's mitt he was using, find a different one. Maybe this one will help him avoid a ball off his ankles. Not his fault, just a tough spin, and Alvarez did the best he could.
First pitch to Jake Cronenworth misses for a ball at 94 miles an hour from Garcia. Count 1 ball, no strikes.
Played for Port Charlotte in 2017 and then up to Bowling Green.
Pitch in for a strike and the count 1-1.
2018, Haley played exclusively for Bowling Green, now Charlotte and Montgomery this year.
1-1, a check swing, but Boy, in there for a strike. Really good pitch from Davey in the count 1-2.
Hudson Valley is not in the same division as the State College Spikes, so maybe he got a couple of games at his old yard, Medler Field at Lubrano Park.
Wind up from Garcia, the 1-2 pitch. Misses outside for a ball. Count 2-2. Cronenworth, left-handed batter, stands with the feet close together. 2-2 pitch, just missed outside from Garcia. Changeup couldn't catch the strike zone or get Cronenworth fishing, so now it's 3-2. Cronenworth, the IL batting champion this year, .334 in the regular season. Watches the 3-2 pitch, miss low in the dirt for ball 4. Led down to first base with a 1-out walk, and men on first for Emilio Bonifacio.
Designated hitter Emilio Bonifacio.
Bonifacio this season with Durham, 76 games at .286. Spent some time in the IL in July, but other than that has been with Durham for a majority of the year. Lefty batter, first pitch from Garcia, misses way outside, count 1-0.
He also spent some time on the Hudson Valley Renegades roster.
That he did.
34-year-old from the Dominican.
And that was about a couple of hours worth. Was assigned to Hudson Valley on June 12th and then sent to extended spring training on June 13th before coming back to Durham on the 16th. 1-0 misses, and it's now 2-0.
Just in time to face the Rail Riders in that weekend series down at Durham Bulls Athletic Park.
Pure speculation, that might have been a on-paper transaction. What we'll see is the 34-year-old big league veteran Bonifacio waits a 2-0 pitch from the 20-year-old Davey Garcia. It misses for ball 3. Bonifacio, I remember from his time, I guess most prominently in the big leagues with the Miami Marlins. I suppose they were then the Florida Marlins when he first came up. 3-0 pitch, misses low for ball 4. It's back-to-back walks for Davey Garcia with 1 out in the 4th inning. I'll bring up Jason Coates with runners on first and second and a 6-1 Durham lead.
And he had a couple of nice years with Florida and then Miami. But a 40 steal season for the Florida Marlins in 2011, where he hit .296.
Then he was part of one of the biggest trades, really, of the last 8 or 9 years. That was where John Buck, Mark Burley, Josh Johnson, and Jose Reyes went from Miami to Toronto for 6 more players. Just a massive deal between those two teams. Is the most recent edition of Miami breaking it all down and selling off parts before the current version of them doing that. First pitch to Jason Coates, misses low for ball 1.
Yeah, they've done that a few times over. And looking back at that deal from November of 2012, trying to pick the name out of it. Burley, Reyes, Josh Johnson. Burley went on to a good career with a couple of teams, the White Sox prior to that, and pitched well for Toronto.
1-0 to Coates, misses for ball. It's now 2-0.
But for that return, there's not a whole lot that stands out to me. DeSclafani went on to a decent career with the Reds. Echeverria's been around a few times, played against the Rail Riders this year as a member of the Syracuse Mets.
2-0, big swing and a miss by Jason Coates. It's now 2-1. Yeah. Jake Marisnik now out of the organization, but still up in the big leagues. Jeff Mathis still catching somewhere. Justin Nicolino, I think we saw him earlier in the year with somebody.
Saw him with a couple of teams.
2-1 pitch, misses low to Coates, and it's now 3-1. And Henderson Alvarez has had heights of throwing a no-hitter with the Marlins, but also some downs in that he's been largely out of the major leagues the last couple of years.
star power all went to Toronto, and I'm just looking back at that wondering, not even one player for the Marlins still? I mean, it's 7 years later.
3-1, a strike to Coates. Count full 3-2 with one out. Runners on first and second. Top of the fourth, the 6-1 Durham score.
And in fact, in that whole trade, there's probably only one player that I would identify as a Marlin. Both sides of the deal.
Hechavarria?
Nope.
3-2 pitch. Coates tags it high, deep to left field, and Gosuke Kato backing up will just turn around and watch it fly onto the walkway. A 3-run home run for Jason Coates. Breaks it even further open in the top of the fourth inning. It's now a 9-1 Durham lead.
Coates homered in the series opener, a 3-run blast. That helped set up a 9-3 win, and now breaks it to a 9-1 advantage here. Gosuke gave it a quick glance, but knew off the bat that that was well over top of his head over the wall.
First pitch to Dylan Cousins with a 9-1 lead for Durham is a called strike in the count 0-1.
No, back to that deal. The only person that I look at and think, yes, I think of him as a Marlin, is Josh Johnson.
0-1 pitch fouled back by Cousins. A look for Eric Kratz, but it only takes a couple of steps before watching it sail out of bounds.
John Buck, Mets. Mark Burley, White Sox. Yes, the Blue Jays in there, but White Sox more to me. Jose Reyes, the Mets.
Yep. The 0-2 pitch. Cousins swings and drives on high in the air, pretty deep to right center. The ballpark will hold this one. Zach Zahner into the gap, makes the call on the catch. And there's 2 gone in the inning, as that one just really didn't have the carry off the bat of Dylan Cousins. 2 gone to the bases empty for Kevin Padlow.
Third baseman Kevin Padlow.
So Padlow, with a 9-1 Durham lead, digs in, a right-handed batter against Davey Garcia. First pitch is called the strike in the outside corner, count 0-1. Padlow, a high school teammate of Tyler Wade out at Marietta Valley High School in California. Drives the 0-1 pitch in the air to center field, chasing Terrence Gore back, but he's got room in front of the warning track. He makes the catch for the 3rd out in the inning. 3 runs come home to score on 1 hit. The 3-run home run from Jason Coates, a couple of walks, and a 9-1 Durham lead to the bottom of the 4th. Cato and Zach Zahner with the 6'10" Aaron Slagers on the mound for the Durham Bulls. Lines in the first pitch, misses low and outside, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Alvarez, no official at-bats today. Drew a walk his first time up against Blake Snell. As the 1-0 pitch misses low in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Reigning American League Cy Young Award winner. Walked a couple, gave up a run in the first inning. It's been all Aaron Slagers since. 2-0. Called the strike to Alvarez. It's now 2-1.
He's faced 7 batters. He's retired them all. It's either been a strikeout or a ground out to third.
2-1 pitch. Alvarez chops it on the ground to third, but foul. And the count 2-1 as it rolls all the way down the corner near the Coast Pavilion.
4 strikeouts for Slagers, and Rijo, Estrada, Kratz, the 3 groundouts to third baseman Kevin Padlow.
Slagers steps back in the 2-2. Just outside in the count, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Mandy Alvarez. Slagers works quickly, the 3-2 pitch. Breaking ball hit on the ground to shortstop. Drake Cronenworth to his left. Fires across the diamond with his momentum carrying him in that direction. Throws out Alvarez. 6-3 with 1 out in the inning. We'll pause 10 seconds for station ID on NEPA Sports Radio The Game. He's Adam Marco. I'm Joe Vasile. Bottom of the 4th, 9-1 Durham. First pitch to Gosuke Kato, called the strike, and the count 0-1. 1 out and the bases empty as Aaron Slagers keeps on working. The pitch swung on and missed. It's 0-2. Cateau, a strikeout victim of Blake Snell his first time up. Could avoid that fate here. Shift on against the lefty as the 0-2 misses sign outside. It's now 1-2.
Coming up in the fifth, get you a scoring update from the other IL semifinal and take a look at the big league side.
1-2, Cateau drives one deep down the right field line. If it's fair, it's gone, but this one just hooks foul down the right field corner by the Budweiser rail house, and Cateau knew it. He only took a couple of steps out of the batter's box before turning around. Slagers, 9 games of big league experience over the last 3 years with Minnesota and Tampa Bay. 1-2 pitch, misses sign outside, count now 2-2. At 6'10", he is the distinction of being tied for the second tallest pitcher in MLB history. 2-2, this is outside, the count 3-2 to Cateau. John Roush at 6'11", the tallest ever. Randy Johnson, Chris Young, and Eric Hillman, all 6'10". 3-2, fouled off by Cateau. We'll do it again at 3-2. And of course, Slagers added to that list in 2017.
If you saw earlier today, there are a couple of big stories from the world of sports, not just baseball related.
The 3-2 pitch, Cateau grounds it foul at the first base line.
And I didn't get to watch any of it, but Serena Williams was trying for her 24th Grand Slam title, but was beaten by a 19-year-old Canadian. And if I butcher the name, I apologize. Bianca Andreescu?
Sure. A 3-2 to Cateau, swing and a miss, strike 3. He goes down on strikes. That is the 7th strikeout for Durham pitching, and the 5th belonging to Aaron Slagers. There's 2 out in the inning. That'll bring up Zach Zahner.
Serena Williams, now 37-year-old, making her 6th. Check that. The Final Four in each of the last 6 Grand Slam events, but fell to 0-4 in those matches, 4 of the last 6.
First pitch to Zach Zahner, misses low for ball, count 1-0.
And it was a straight sets win, 6-3, 7-5.
What a feeling that must be. It's the 1-0 pitch in for a strike, count 1-1. Take down arguably the greatest athlete in your sport's history on the biggest stage in your sport. 1-1 pitch, grounded foul up the third base line. Count 1-2 to Zahner. By the way, that's spoken like a true New Yorker, saying that the U.S. Open is the biggest stage in tennis.
Right. I don't know. You
can make an argument for Wimbledon.
I think you can make that argument a lot easier. It's probably third.
1-2 to Zahner, lifted in the air to right center field. Lucas and Cousins converging out in the alley, and it's the center fielder Nathan Lucas to make the call and the catch in front of the LED board. And that'll do it for another 1-2-3 inning for Aaron Slagers. He's had 10 up and 10 down since coming into the ballgame. It's 9-1 Durham going to the 5th on NEPA Sports Radio, The Game. Garcia gave up the 3-run home run in the 4th that made it 9-1 Bulls. So lefty Dalton Kelly violins the bat as the first pitch from Garcia misses high and outside. And the count 1 ball and no strikes. It's an unorthodox method of holding your hands, to say the least, for Kelly. As the pitch misses, it's now 2-0. It's been successful for him, so why change it? The 2-0. Misses sign outside, it's now 3-0. The guy who was probably best known for changing his batting stance, Cal Ripken Jr., said, it doesn't really matter where you start, it's the swing and where you finish. 3-0 pitch, Kelly watches it outside for ball 4.
They have a few guys on this team with unique stances and grips on the bat. Jake Cronenworth stands what I would call very pensive in the box with both feet in the tiniest possible square in the back end of the box and the hands very tight to the body, and somehow hit .334, working that to his advantage. The other game in the International League tonight, Columbus trying to get rid of Gwinnett in the postseason. top half of the fourth inning, and the Clippers do have a 2-1 lead.
First pitch to Rocky Gale, misses high for a ball, count 1-0. It's Bryce Wilson on the mound for Gwinnett tonight.
First inning, Bobby Bradley with an RBI single to plate Ka'ai Tom. Pedro Florimon tied it up in the second inning, and then Tom homers for the 2-1 lead.
1-0 pitch, just missed low and inside to Gale, count 2-0. 6 in a row out of the strike zone for Davy Garcia to start the fifth. Rail Riders getting some action up in their bullpen.
Ben Heller taking warm-up tosses. One final look at Heller perhaps before a big league recall.
The pitch misses low and inside, and it's now 7 straight out of the zone for Garcia. 3 balls and no strikes the count to Rocky Gale, who's already 2 for 2 with 3 RBIs for Durham today. 2-run double in the first, an RBI single in the third. The 3-0 pitch misses inside for ball 4. Back-to-back 4-pitch walks for Davy Garcia get things going in the top of the fifth. Now Nathan Lucas, as Tommy Phelps up and out of the Rail Riders dugout to go have a chat with Garcia, Mandy Alvarez, and Eric Kratz joining the fray.
Mentioned there's some other stories from around the world of professional sports today, and the craziest one is Antonio Brown is now a New England Patriot.
Just like we all thought earlier this morning when we woke up and coming off the news that his suspension was going to be lifted and everything was A-OK.
Well, it looked like they were going to do away with some of the guarantees in his contract and they would still keep him, but then Oakland decided that was it. That was all. There was a very odd, cryptic YouTube video posted yesterday that may or may not illegally have recorded a phone call with John Gruden.
First pitch to Nathan Lucas is driven to right field. That'll fall for a base hit. Get behind Zach Zahner and go all the way to the wall. Dalton Kelly around third. He scores. Chugging into third, standing up. Rocky Gale as the throw misses the cutoff man. Comes all the way into the plate. And now into score. All the way from first base. Rocky Gale makes it 11-1 as Eric Kratz had to go out in front of home plate to scoop that ball up and had no chance to make a tag on Gale. And just a calamity for the Rail Riders as they're now down 10, as what should have been a single that probably scored 1 run turns into 2 runs in, turns into Jay Bell out of the Rail Riders dugout, and a new pitcher coming in an 11-1 ball game.
Nearly automatic in his time with the Rail Riders this year. 9 outings, 4 starts, 11 innings, giving up just 1 run, 13 strikeouts, 3 walks. He's played it out to an 0.82 ERA this season. That, to me, plays and I think can help the Yankees down the stretch. He's popped the mid-90s with some good breaking stuff to follow. Pretty good outing coming off Tommy John surgery.
First pitch from Heller to Jim Haley, misses for a ball count, 1-0. And for Ben Heller, it's been a long road back for Tommy John surgery. Missed all of last year, first half of this year. Trying to get back there, right on the doorstep. The 1-0 pitch, check swing by Jim Haley in the appeal to first. He didn't go around. The count 2 balls and no strikes.
And Heller had a little bit of a setback in the middle of the summer. They shut him down for about a month. Rejoined the roster in mid-August.
2-0 to Haley. Fastball catches the outside corner for a strike. It's now 2-1. 11 runs on just 7 hits and no errors for Durham. 1 run on 2 hits and 2 errors for the Rail Riders. Heller set. A look back at Lucas at second. The 2-1. Check swing misses low and outside. Appeal again. Did not swing again. And it's now 3-1 to Jim Haley. Former Penn State Nittany Lion with a decent-sized cheering section here today. 19th round pick at Tampa Bay back in 2016. Stands tall in the righty box. The pitch hit on the ground up the third baseline and kicks foul as Wendell Rio touches it up behind the bag and tosses it into the stands for a souvenir. Count 3 balls and 2 strikes to Haley. 0 for 2. He's already faced 2 different pitchers. Flew out against Joe Mantiply, grounded out against Davey Garcia. All quiet in both bullpens. Heller comes set. Up at the shoulders, the 3-2. Fouled back by Haley. Do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. 2 runs home in the inning for Durham. Back-to-back walks for Davey Garcia to start the frame. And Nathan Lucas an RBI double. A throwing error on Zach Zaner, allowing his second run to score, but he missed the cutoff man. Now Heller in. And his first batter's gone full 3-2. The pitch misses outside with a slider. That's ball 4. Ben Heller walks Jim Haley. And it's runners on first and second with nobody out. Here in the top of the 5th inning, and an 11-1 game for the Durham Bulls. That is the 8th walk issued by Rail Riders pitching in 4+ innings today. Now Jake Cronenworth stands with those feet close together in the lefty batter's box toward the back in the first pitch. Called the strike at the knees, count 0-1.
I'm going to finish my thought on Antonio Brown.
Sure.
Released and then immediately signed essentially with the New England Patriots. And I grew up in Pittsburgh, grew up a Steelers fan. Loved Antonio Brown when he was going good. This last year is just so strange.
0-1 pitch, grounded up the middle. Second baseman Valera's got it, puts the tag on, throws to first in time, and it's a double play. Jim Haley retired on the tag from Breivik Valera. Not sure if Valera actually got him, but signaled out, and the throw to first was in time to get Cronenworth. So runner on third and 2 outs.
Wasn't in time to get Cronenworth.
Pardon?
They get, and it wasn't even a tag by Valera. It was Haley going out of the baseline. That's 1 out. Cronenworth is aboard at first base on a fielder's choice.
Yep.
Too much speed out of the box, and Valera had to wait to try to find Haley to apply a tag.
First pitch to Emilio Bonifacio, swung on and foul tipped into the mid of Eric Kratz, count 0-1.
Antonio Brown is a tremendous talent. And for the first 6 years in a Steelers uniform, this was never something that boiled to the surface.
0-1 pitch, fouled back and hits off the facing of the sweet level. Ricochets on down, count 0-2.
It's just fascinating to me that he has now, in my mind, and I'm jaded, he's quit on 2 teams. One before he even played a serious down for them.
0-2 pitch to Bonifacio, swung on and missed for strike 3. Ben Hellers gets Emilio Bonifacio swinging for the second out of the inning. Coming up Jason Coates, an 11-1 Durham lead here in the top of the 5th.
Brody Kerner taking warm-up throws in the Rail Riders bullpen. Could potentially just finish this game off for Scranton Wilkes-Barre. Just now, as a Steelers fan, I hope he does the same thing to the Patriots that he did to the Raiders and the Steelers. Wasted a little bit of time and money.
First pitch to Coates, misses for a ball, count 1-0. So it's Jake Cronenworth, board at first, Nathan Lucas at third, runners still on the corners for Durham. 1-0 from Heller is called the strike, and the count is even up at 1-1.
That said, if I had a fantasy football draft, I might consider it. I'm not that jaded.
Look, if you're going to make some money off of it, you might as well.
I do it all for fun.
Or bragging rights. There you go. Heller comes to the high set. 1-1 pitch to Coates. He is called the strike and the count 1-2. Smattering of applause from the fans here at PNC Field. And all things considered, that we didn't know that Rail Riders were even going to be in the playoffs for sure until Tuesday. Nice turnout. 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Coates goes down on strikes. Back-to-back strikeouts for Ben Heller. Puts an end to the top of the 5th, but it's an 11-1 Durham lead to the bottom of the 5th on NEPA Sports Radio. The game faced, and dating back to the last out recorded by Blake Snell in the first, it's 11 straight for Durham pitching. So Rio digs in, righty batter. First pitch from Slagers drops in at the knees for a strike, count 0-1. It's an 11-1 lead for the Durham Bulls here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Game 3 of the first round of the Governor's Cup playoffs. Pitch misses low, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike to Rio. Durham with a 2-0 series lead. So game 1, 9-3. Game 2, 4-2. 1-1 pitch. Grounded foul by Rio, and the count 1-2.
Some big league scores for you this half inning. The New York Yankees taking on the Boston Red Sox tonight, and the Yankees were victorious. Edwin Encarnacion hits a home run over the Green Monster, and the Yankees win 5-1.
1-2 pitch. Rio chops onto the ground to the left side. Played to the backhand by Cronenworth in the hole. It's short. His throw to first is not in time. Pulled Dalton Kelly off the bag, but Wendell Rio was there already anyway. And it's an infield single for Rio in the first hit for the Rail Riders since Eric Kratz's RBI single back in the first inning.
Center fielder Terrence Gore.
At that point, the Rail Riders were trailing just 4-1. They would eventually load the bases with the opportunity to get things square. Slagers came in and really took over. Struck out Zach Zahner, then perfect through the next 3 innings.
First pitch called the strike to Terrence Gore, and the count 0-1.
Blue Jays are taking on the Rays down in Tampa. It's a 3-3 game in the 7th inning.
Spinning a throw to first. Rio back in safely.
Cardinals lead the Pirates in Pittsburgh 4-1. Marcelo Zuna 1 for 2 with a 3-run homer.
0-1 pitch called the strike to Rio, or rather to Gore at the knees, and the count 0-2.
Starling Marte 2 for 2 with a triple and a run batted in for the Pirates. Royals Marlins a 1-1 game.
0-2 to Gore, bounces up to the plate. Good block made by Rocky Gale. And the count 1-2 as Rio asked to stay put at first base.
Requisite box score check. Ryan McBroom is 1 for 3, hitting .357 for the Royals. Had his first big league double tonight.
11-1 Durham, the 1-2 pitch from Slagers. Check swing, foul ball by Terrence Gore. A little frustrated with himself for chasing that one up and out of the strike zone. Count remains at 1-2.
Rangers 7, Orioles 3, bottom of the 3rd inning. Angels and the White Sox, it's a 6-2 game for the Halos. Shohei Ohtani is 2 for 2 with a home run.
Gore chops the 1-2 on the ground to third. Played by Padlow to second for 1. Relay to first, not in time. Gore beats it out as with that blazing speed on a chopping ball to third base. It's going to be nearly impossible to double him up.
And he slowed down going into first. Cubs have a 1-0 lead against Gio Gonzalez in the top of the 5th inning. Remember when Gio Gonzalez was a Rail Rider? The very first game of the year.
Those were good times.
Twins 1, Indians 0, bottom of the 4th inning. The Phillies lead the Mets 1-0 after 3.
Pitch to Breivik Valera. Switch hitter batting left is in for strike. Count 0-1.
Carlos Hernandez is 2 for 2 with a solo home run. Pete Alonso 2 for 2. No home runs yet. It's 1-0.
The 0-1 pitch. Valera rips it into right field. Falls in front of Dylan Cousins for a base hit. Station to station for Terrence Gore, who slams the brakes on at second. A couple of hits in the inning and a couple of base runners for Tyro Estrada. Coming to the plate with the Rail Riders trailing by 10.
Braves lead the Nationals 1-0 in the 4th inning. A final from earlier today. The Diamondbacks shut out the Reds 2-0. Alex Young struck out 12 in 8 innings. Rookie got his 7th win. Rockies, Padres, Tigers, A's, Giants, Dodgers still to come tonight.
First pitch to Tyro, misses low for a ball, count 1-0.
That is your big league scoreboard update.
Tyro 1 for 2 today, singled in the first, grounded out to third in the third. As the 1-0 pitch is in for a strike, the count 1-1.
We've seen so much of Estrada this season. He's with the club now on a major league rehab assignment, coming back from a right hamstring strain.
Waits the 1-1 from Slagers. Misses low in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike.
But one of the things about the big league rehabbers, when they walk to the plate, they're not wearing a Rail Riders helmet. They're wearing their major league helmet. So to see him walk up there with the Yankees logo on that hat.
2-1 hit on the ground to third base. Paid on the backhand by Padlo. Will scoop it up and just step on third himself to retire Terrence Gore. A 5 unassisted fielder's choice for the second out of the inning. But it pushes Valera to second and Estrada safely aboard at first base.
And Estrada's the 14th major league rehabber we've had this season for Scranton Wilkes-Barre. So it's not unusual. But all things considered, it's different because we've seen him 60 other times in a Rail Riders cap. In a Rail Riders batting helmet, that is.
It's Kyle Higashioka. First pitch misses for a ball, count 1-0. Higgy struck out twice today, once swinging, once looking. Going to make a dent on this game. An 11-1 lead for Durham. Here in the bottom of the 5th inning with 2 outs and 2 on. The pitch. Off the end of the bat to the right side, played by the first baseman Dalton Kelly. Off the mound, Aaron Slagers catches the feed, steps on the bag. That retires Higashioka 3-1 on the ground out for the 3rd out in the bottom of the 5th. It's an 11-1 Durham lead as we head to the top of the 6th on NEPA Sports Radio, The Game. Go to the top of the 6th inning at PNC Field alongside Adam Marco, Joe Basile with you. Dylan Cousins, Kevin Padlo, and Dalton Kelly due up. Part of the lineup for the Bulls with an 11-1 lead. As Ben Heller remains in the game, he got the Rail Riders out of the 5th inning. Stranding a couple of runners on after Davey Garcia went 1 inning plus, gave up 5 runs in relief, 2 hits, but 4 walks for the 20-year-old.
I'm a little surprised Heller's still out there for another frame of work. You figure after what happened in the last half inning, he worked his way through it. It's just clearly a pitch count now with Brody Kerner ready in the pen.
First pitch to Dylan Cousins, swung on and missed, count 0-1.
Heller walked a batter, fielder's choice, and a couple of strikeouts after Nathan Lucas with that 2-run double off of Davey Garcia. Just more about getting the work now for Heller, the 4th pitcher of the night.
Pitch, swing and a miss, and the count 0-2 to Cousins.
Try to get him right around, if he can get through this. Cousins at bat quickly, 20 pitches. And Jay Bell has Kerner ready. In fact, Brody's no longer even throwing out in the bullpen.
The 0-2 pitch misses low to Cousins. Tried to get him to fish at the breaking ball down in the dirt, but he wouldn't pull the trigger. Count 1-2. Cousins is 0 for 3 in the game. Brought home a run with a ground out into the shift in the 1st inning. And since is struck out and flown out to right field. Heller set the 1-2. Swing and a miss by Cousins. A fastball that he couldn't connect at 92 miles an hour. 3rd straight strikeout for Ben Heller. There's 1 gone here in the top of the 6th inning. And an 11-1 Durham lead. Kevin Padlo coming to the plate. Padlo scored a couple of runs, reached on an error and walked today. Right-handed batter against the righty Heller. His first pitch is in for a strike, good off speed, and the count 0-1. Padlo was drafted in the 5th round back in 2014 by the Colorado Rockies. As the pitch misses low and the count 1-1. Came to the Tampa Bay Rays organization January of 2016. A trade that brought Corey Dickerson to Tampa, Jake McGee and Herman Marquez to Colorado. 1-1 pitch. Check swing as it misses low and outside. Count 2 balls and a strike. One of the things that Tampa really likes about Padlo is his elite plate discipline. At Double-A Montgomery this year, he walked in 17% of his plate appearances, which is just absurd. The 2-1 pitch. Misses outside for ball 3. Wilkes walked in 13.5% here in AAA. And for a frame of reference, if you're around 8 to 9%, that's a pretty good number. A 3-1 pitch, called the strike, and the count full, 3-2 to Padlo.
Ready to hunch over and take his shin guard off. And they've got some talent on the infield. Kian Wong just went to the big leagues. Mike Brasso back to the big leagues. Padlo might be a guy that we hear about next season with Durham as well.
3-2 pitch, swing and a miss by Padlo over the top of the breaking ball. And there's 2 gone here in the inning. That's 4 straight strikeouts for Ben Heller.
Jay Pell walked away from the dugout rail as if he was going to go out and pull Ben Heller. And I think before he hit the steps, Tommy Phelps said, give him one more batter. Don't bring Brody in mid-inning.
26 pitches for Ben Heller so far as Dalton Kelly digs in. Lefty batter against the righty Heller. First pitch with the shift on, called the strike at the knees, and the count 0-1. So 6 in a row set down for Ben Heller. The pitch, swing and a miss. Count 0-2. 11-1, Durham on top. We play in the top of the 6th inning. Dalton Kelly waits the 0-2, and he swings and foul tips it back into the mid of Eric Kratz. Ben Heller strikes out the side in the 6th. He has 5 strikeouts. And we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's Durham 11, Scranton Wilkes-Barre 1 on NEPA Sports Radio, The Game. Go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Aaron Slager's still in the game. For the Durham Bulls, he'll face Eric Kratz, Mandy Alvarez, and Gosuke Kitso, 4, 5, and 6. The Rail Riders lineup. An 11-1 lead for Durham as the Rail Riders, after they had been retired 11 in a row, had a little bit of life offensively in the 5th inning with a couple of hits. Not able to push a run across, and see if that carries over a little bit into the bottom of the 6th. After Ben Heller struck out the side in the top half. Slager's into the wind. First pitch to Kratz is a fastball, called the strike. The count 0-1. All's quiet in the Durham bullpen. Hasn't been any action out there since Slager's was up and warming in the 1st inning. Pitch fouled straight back by Kratz, and the count 0-2. Not really a reason to have anyone warming out in the pen as Slager's piggybacking on Major League rehabber Blake Snell. He's gone 7 innings in each of his last 2 starts. Winds and fires the 0-2, and Kratz fouls it back, hits the top of the netting, and drops straight down.
Scranton Wilkes-Barre has not really made Aaron Slager's work that much in this outing. The most he really had to push any effort forth was the 2-hit 5th inning with a couple of fielders' choices along the way. Still just 70 pitches now from Slagers.
Kick in the 0-2 to Kratz, fouled straight back into the net. And we'll do it again at 0-2. It's kind of a whirlwind this year for Aaron Slagers. He's been designated for assignment by 3 different teams. Once in January by Minnesota, then by Pittsburgh in spring training. The pitch misses low to Kratz, and it's now 1-2. It's been designated by Tampa Bay twice this year, but gone unclaimed and been able to just be outrighted to the Durham Bulls. And they're reaping the benefits of that now. 1-2. Just outside with a fastball at 90 miles an hour from Slagers. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss by Kratz. He swung over the top of a breaking ball. There's 1 gone. They're in the bottom of the 6th inning as Aaron Slagers records his 6th strikeout of the game.
First baseman, Mandy Alvarez.
I bring up Mandy Alvarez with 1 out, the bases empty, and an 11-1 lead for the Durham Bulls. As Aaron Slagers has just been mowing down the Rail Riders, except for couple of hits in the fifth. First pitch to Mandy is called the strike in the outside corner, count 1-0. Slagers now is 6'10", but he wasn't always. I know that's obvious, but underwent a 7-inch growth spurt in high school between his junior and senior year. 1-0 pitch called the strike, or rather, a 1 pitch is called the strike. It's now 0-2 to Mandy Alvarez. Because of that growth spurt, he was limited to just 2 innings as a senior in high school. 0-2 pitch, strike 3 called. Alvarez watches a fastball right down the pike. And there's now 2 gone in the inning, as that is the 9th strikeout overall for Durham pitching, and 7 of those belonging to Aaron Slagers. Gosuke Kato at the plates.
See if this is the final stop for Slagers along his journey. Maybe finds a home with Tampa.
First pitch to Kato is swung on and fouled off, and the count 0-1. He walked on at Indiana, only threw 1 inning as a freshman before a line drive hit him and broke his wrist and shut him down for the year. 0-1 misses to Kato. It's now 1-1. His sophomore year, he threw a whopping 7 1/3 before he was shut down because of a stress fracture in his right tibia. So his junior year, he goes out and wins Big Ten Conference Pitcher of the Year. It's taken in the 5th round by Minnesota. Works his way all the way to the big leagues. 1-1 pitch. Kato hits it on the ground to the right side. Second baseman Jim Haley up with it. He throws to first in time to retire Gosuke Kato. And it's another 1-2-3 inning for Aaron Slagers in the bottom of the 6th. It's Durham 11, Scranton Wilkes-Barre 1. We head to the 7th on NEPA Sports Radio The Game.
In for Scranton Wilkes-Barre, Kerner was a vital member of this rotation throughout the course of the season. The numbers took an unfortunate turn north in the month of August. Kerner was hit around quite a bit the last couple of starts of the season. 21 outings, including 16 starts. Swing and a miss by Rocky Gale. 7-8-9 due up against Brody here in the 7th inning. Kerner struck out 89. He walked 37 in 112 innings pitched. Didn't make his first appearance for Scranton Wilkes-Barre until April 26th. Pitch delivered low. And that was a game against the Syracuse Mets here at PNC Field, where we played 8 minutes. Here's the 1-1 toss, lined out towards right field. Zach Zahner walks in to make the catch. 1 down in the inning. Gale retired for the first time today. I don't know if you remember that one. We sat through a lengthy rain delay, but about an hour 37-minute delay. Hour 31-minute delay, sorry. We played 8 minutes. The tarp went back on. We sat through another hour and a half or so delay, and then ultimately decided we couldn't finish that game off. Here's the toss. Down low. It was a glow in the park Friday. Kerner gave up a home run to Danny Espinoza in the rain. And that's all that happened. That pop-up shower that wasn't even on the radar. Swinging a foul. Now 1-1 the count on Nathan Lucas. Brody was sent back down to Trenton, but then rejoined the Rail Riders a little bit later, and every 5th day was out there consistently, was really good. Let's say May through July. I don't count the April start. And just wore down a little too much in August. Here's a line drive to left field. Gosuke Kato will back up and make the catch. Now 2 down in the inning. By the way, Tyro Estrada is still in the game at shortstop, and Mandy Alvarez is still the Rail Riders' first baseman. Now 2 outs in the inning, and the number 9 hitter Jim Haley to the plate. This team would not be where it is in the postseason without the efforts of Brody Kerner. With so much fluctuation in the rotation this year. Pitch breaks a little bit low. Now 1 ball and no strikes the count. The injuries for the New York Yankees certainly wreaked havoc on the position players. Here's a line drive towards right. That'll drop in. Fair. Zach Zahner chases after it. Haley's going to take second. Zahner's throw is bouncing in late. It's a single for Jim Haley, and a cheering section erupts. His first AAA hit. Back to the top of the order to Jake Cronenworth. Remember a rotation of Nestor Cortez and Chance Adams.
David Hale.
David Hale. Here are the guys that started games. Now, not rattle off the whole list, but guys that started more than one game, but not quite members of the rotation. Down and in. Davy Garcia, Nestor Cortez, 6 starts apiece. David Hale started 7 games. Brian Keller, 5 at the end of the year. Michael King, 3. Jonathan Loisiga, 4 starts. Adonis Rosa, 8 in the rotation. It was a called strike. You mix in some guys that, the big league rehab assignments like Sevy, the openers like Chad Green. Stephen Tarpley had 2 starts this year. Josh Maciejewski with a couple of starts late in the season for the Rail Riders. Swing and a foul. Now 1-2 the count. Your most consistent starters, Daniel Camarena, who was released in August, 18 starts. Brody Kerner was second on the staff with 16. Chance Adams, 15. 12 for Raynel Espinal, who didn't pitch after mid-July. 10 for Randall Delgado, who didn't pitch after mid-July. 1-2 breaks down and in. And the only other starter in double figures this season. Any guesses?
No.
There's one other name. It's Drew Hutchison, who made 10 starts. Here's a line drive, sliced out towards left field. Cateau backs to the warning track, will make the catch. And Drew Hutchison didn't pitch after mid-June for the Rail Riders. So Brody Kerner, second most starts made by the Rail Riders. A single Rail Riders pitcher this year. Lineout ends the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left in scoring position. Stretch time and music. Strand up and stretch them out no matter where you are. This is Rail Riders baseball. The Rail Riders half of this 7th inning. Down 11-1. 11 runs on 8 hits for the Durham Bulls. 1 run on 4 hits. A couple of errors for the Rail Riders here tonight. Scranton Wilkes-Barre needed game 141 to get to the postseason. Durham needed the Charlotte Knights to lose in extra innings to the Norfolk Tides. Crackback grounder on the infield. 1 hop to the shortstop, Jake Cronenworth, in time. 6-3 put away. Now Wendell Rijo to the plate. Rail Riders with 8 outs left to work with. Season potentially coming to a close. Zach Zahner offering on the very first pitch he sees. And with so much work to be done in so little time, we might see more of that for Scranton Wilkes-Barre. Durham had a 4-1 lead after 1. 2 more runs added in their half of the 3rd inning. The backbreaker to me was the Jason Coates homer to build the 9-1 lead. First pitch to Wendell Rijo, sees a strike. Record number of players in a uniform this year for the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders. Bouncing ball towards short. Cronenworth will glove. A high hop, almost skipped beyond his grasp. 6-3 put away. 2 outs in the inning on 3 pitches. Now Terrence Gore to the plate. Angel Aguiar getting in action yesterday. 85 players on the roster this year, and the bulk of them saw playing time. We didn't see Andrew Bellotti. That's the only one. He was on the roster but never played. Ball breaks a little bit low. 1 ball, no strike count. This is the 30th anniversary celebration season for Scranton Wilkes-Barre baseball. 89 to 2019. Ball into the dirt low. Now 2-0 on Gore. Great memories this season. Maybe the best weekend of them all was the Red Barons reunion weekend. Here's the 2-0 toss to Gore. Dips in for the strike. Take 2 out of 3 from Lehigh Valley that weekend. That was when the club was really getting hot. They had only been a first-place team for about a week at that moment in time. 2-1 foul back. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. That Friday night is arguably the most epic story of the season outside of September 3rd. Pitch breaks a little low. Now 3 balls, 2 strikes the count. September 3rd will go down as one of the most iconic games in the 30-year franchise history. Pitch to Gore, a swing and a foul. The late comeback to take Syracuse's season and dash it. But May 31st is a story. There's a foul off Gore's foot, and he needs a little extra time, so they'll bring a few baseballs out to home plate umpire Brian Peterson. Still 3 balls, 2 strikes to count on Terrence Gore. With 2 outs here in the inning, Slegers kicks and deals. Gore, crack back grounder to the shortstop. Cronenworth bobbles, will throw to first. It's not in time to get Terrence. See if they credit a base hit for Gore. It was a little bit of a bobble. We'll see on the MILB.TV replay. Slow bouncer, Cronenworth charges off the glove, off the body, and Gore is able to beat that out. Wait for the scorer's call.
Either way, that little bit of a juggle with Terrence Gore's speed, as slight as it was, enough to get him to reach.
Base hit given. First pitch to Breivik Valera. Taken outside for a ball. But May 31st, we're set to honor Mark Bombard, retire his number, add it to the outfield wall. Here's the 1-0 toss to Breivik, swing and a foul. We've got some of the Red Barons back, Mickey Morandini and Brandon Duckworth, Floyd Rayford, former front office staff members back in attendance. Here's the 1-1 home to Valera. Chases it foul. Now 1-2 the count. And what happens middle of the afternoon? Power goes out on Montage Mountain. Shuts everything in the ballpark down. The microphones don't work. There's no music. You can't cook food. You can't sell tickets. Pitch misses high. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Game was supposed to start at 6:35 with a pregame ceremony at 6 o'clock. Everybody going to be on the field. Game was going to be pushed back 10 minutes anyway. Inside to Breivik Valera, the count goes full. We get power back with just a little bit of a flicker. And we were told, it's going to come back on, it's going to go off. Don't get your hopes up. It has to cycle through. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Gore goes, swing and a miss. We started, 20 minutes late that night, or 25 minutes late. And that was minor league baseball to a T. The power came back on 15 minutes later. We had everybody on the field. We honored Bombi. And the Rail Riders went on to take it to Enyel De Los Santos and beat Lehigh Valley that night. Pretty good. Substitutions on both sides. First pitch swinging, Tyler Ladendorf lines it out towards left field, and that's a leadoff base hit. Ladendorf batting in the DH spot for Emilio Bonifacio. And the first pitch he sees, it's a single. Tyro Estrada's rehab assignment is done after 7 innings. In at shortstop is Angel Aguiar. So it's an infield of Rijo, Aguiar, Valera, and Alvarez for Scranton Wilkes-Barre. The outfield remains unchanged for the moment. Here's Jason Coates, first pitch, watches wide. Runner on at first base. Coates at the plate had the big swing. In a game with 9 hits and 11 runs, yes, the big swing. Took it from a 6-1 advantage to 9-1, and Durham has cruised ever since. Home run off of Davy Garcia after a pair of walks in the 4th inning. 2 balls and no strikes the count from Kerner. Here's the toss. Bouncer towards third. Slow charging. Rijo can barehand it but do nothing else. No throw. Back-to-back singles in the inning. Now Dylan Cousins to the plate.
Yeah, that one took an awkward side spin on Rijo that forced him to barehand it and just kind of deadened it.
Tyro Estrada goes 7 innings on the rehab assignment. Not quite as effective as his 5-inning performance yesterday against Trenton, but 1 for 3. Estrada came up with a base hit in the very first at-bat he had for the Rail Riders tonight. What was left on the bases. Best chance for Scranton Wilkes-Barre was the first inning. First pitch back, Dylan Cousins off the plate. Estrada was the 14th player to rehab for the Rail Riders this season. Can you name the others? I'll help you out along the way.
How many peanuts do I get?
An entire case. Swinging a foul.
Well, Aaron Hicks,
That was
Aaron Judge.
That was the very first one, was Hicks. Judge wasn't alone on that first trip to Durham. We helped the Durham Bulls draw a record-setting attendance over a 3-day stretch.
Thanks to Giancarlo Stanton being there as well.
There's 3. Here's the 1-1 to Cousins. Slow breaking ball in the zone for a strike.
I know Luis Severino was just here.
Along with?
Ben Heller.
Okay. Well, somebody else played with Sevy in that Sunday game and then stuck around for Monday but wasn't here for Tuesday. Here's the toss. Check swing, runs inside.
Let me take a look at my cheat sheet. Edwin Encarnacion.
EE. All right, so you're up to 6.
Okay.
And we're still not halfway there. 29 injuries at the major league level for the New York Yankees precipitated 85 players on the roster for the Rail Riders. Breaking ball called, strike 3. Cousins, good night and good luck. Third strikeout and 5 at-bats in the game for Dylan Cousins. Brody Kerner garners his first K. Now Kevin Padlow to the plate with 2 aboard and 1 down.
Third baseman Kevin Padlow.
It's a good pitch to freeze Cousins for the 9th strikeout of the game for Rail Riders pitching. Trying to rack my brain, was one of Jonathan Loaiziga's outings technically a major league rehab?
It was.
Okay. So that makes 7.
Here's the toss. Taken for a strike. I had the thought a couple of weeks ago, like I should have gotten a baseball autograph just by the rehabs. There are a few guys that played a couple of games. There are a few guys that made 1 or 2 appearances in a starting capacity. Swing and a miss here by Padlow, now 0-2. When we had Lehigh Valley here back in late May to early June, Rail Riders had an infielder, a shortstop.
Didi Gregorius. Forgot all about Didi being down here.
Right? And he was a big factor in the series against Rochester and then Lehigh before he went back to the big leagues. Pitch taken high. I'll throw a couple pitchers out there you may not get. Or are you ready?
Well, I've got a couple of position players.
All right.
That I'm ready to go with. Cameron Maben and Luke Voigt.
Here's us swinging a foul. Maben was with the team for 3 games out in Columbus, was slated to stick with us through the Louisville series, but the Yankees had another injury at the big league level, so he was recalled quickly. Luke Voigt was with the team for Lehigh Valley the last trip of the year. Went up to Pawtucket, helped us win a couple of games against the Paw Sox. 1 game. Then we had the rain out, so that ended his rehab. He played that Tuesday night. Swing, no, check that, watch it wide. All right, so you got Maben, you got Voigt.
How many are we up to now?
That's 10.
10, all right. Jordan Montgomery.
Montgomery made the rehab start last Friday night. Here's the 2-2 at the knees, strike 3 looking. Kerner gets Cousins on a breaking ball. Now Padlow watching. Dalton Kelly to the plate.
And that's where I run out. I have no more ideas. I could cheat and look up who's played for us this year, but in lieu of that, I'm going to tap out here at 11.
Well, Tyro Estrada tonight, number 14.
Okay.
Domingo Herman.
That's right. I forgot about him being here.
Swing and a miss. And the last one, twice over, was Gary Sanchez.
Wow. How did I forget him?
We have pretty much an entire field now with a couple of relievers, a closer. Pitch taken inside. 1 ball, 1 strike to count on Dalton Kelly.
Yeah, a full outfield of Hicks, Stanton, and Judge.
We're a little thin on we have Maben, so we're going to need Voit at first base.
Yeah, I was going to say Maben can DH.
DH, rather shortstops, Didi. Second base, Estrada. There's a swing and a foul tip. We're just missing a third baseman on this all-rehab team.
And honestly, that's a pretty good. That'd be a major league team that would win quite a few games, and has, quite frankly.
Might be a project playing like MLB The Show. Let's just put this team together of rehabbers and see how they do. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a foul. I also thought the Yankees should get an autographed baseball of all 29 players on the injured list.
There would be probably more than one Yankees fan who would love to have that baseball for one reason or another.
Because they all love autographs.
Sure.
Here's the 1-2 home. Inside, and it clipped Kelly. Just barely caught him. Not even enough to deflect it away from Eric Kratz. And the bases are now loaded for Rocky Gale, who's having a game. 2 hits and 3 at-bats with 3 runs batted in. It's 11-1 in the top half of the 8th inning.
That's Rocky Gale.
Kerner, go ahead.
I was going to say, you never want to say there's a bright side to injuries, but if there has been for the Yankees, it's allowed for guys like a Nestor Cortez or a David Hale to have nice breakout seasons in the big leagues, and among others, Gio Urshela.
Breaking ball spins for the strike. And the Yankees are going to have some interesting decisions every year, certainly. But with the number of players who got hurt, who factored, there are some where you can look at and say they might not be on the postseason roster. They might not be in the Yankees' plans. Here's a swing and a foul. But Urshela and Miguel Andujar create an interesting conundrum at third base, arguably next year. Maybe the Yankees just stick with the initial plan, go with pop-up. But Gio's played himself, if not into a spot with the Yankees, potentially into a decent contract somewhere.
And you think about a guy like Mike Tauchman, who has been so good for the Yankees this year in the big leagues. I mean, there's just a sheer numbers game where he's not going to be able to get his at-bats. Heaven forbid if Jacoby Ellsbury starts battling for playing time in the outfield.
Who? 1-2, grounded to the right side. Mandy Alvarez gloves will flip to Kerner covering the base. Brody is there. Gale is out, and the inning comes to a close. Ground out, 3-1, no runs, 2 hits, 3 men left aboard. 11-1 Durham to the bottom of the 8th on NEP Hockey's organization. Signed as a minor league free agent. Garcia seeing his first activity with the Durham Bulls.
Ticket number today is 174.
Garcia, 6 foot, 185-pound right-hander.
And what's interesting about Garcia is that you talk about the big league time he's spent with the Baltimore Orioles a couple of years ago. He's never actually pitched a regular season game in AAA. Spent parts of the last 5 years in AA, has been in the big leagues, but never appeared in a AAA game.
Signed on with the Rays. He was pitching an independent ball with Sioux City. 7-1 down in AA with Montgomery. A stoppage here as the baseball gets off the berm and right. And Dylan Cousins will track it down. Aaron Slagers is done, and what a great job he did tonight for the Durham Bulls. 6 1/3 innings of 3-hit, 8 strikeout ball. First pitch swinging on Hell Aguiar, drifts it out towards right center field. One hops off the warning track, and Aguiar's into second with a stand-up double.
Good rip by Aguiar. Take a look on the MILB.com replay right now. Good first pitch hitting, went down and just drove that one to the opposite field. And easy 2 bases for him. First at bat in the game, and first pitch swinging. No, he was just antsy, ready to get in and make an impact.
Here's Kyle Higashioka, the Rail Riders catcher, DH, hitless in 3 games, or rather 3 at-bats here tonight. Aguiar on at second. First pitch to Higgy. Taken outside for a ball from Garcia. Slagers, 6 innings, 3 hits. No runs, no walks. 8 strikeouts on his ledger and in line for the Game 3 win. The 1-0. This is wide. Garcia, 26-year-old from the Bronx, initially drafted by the Boston Red Sox out of Land O'Lakes High School in Florida. 2 balls, no strikes. Pitch home. Higgy bounces it foul. Past third base coach Doug Davis, and the fan couldn't make the glove, so Doug will have to track it down. Eric Kratz to follow for the Rail Riders. Mandy Alvarez awaits beyond that for Scranton Wilkes-Barre. Pitch to Higgy, fouled it off his foot. The Rail Riders season potentially coming to an end here in the near future. I would venture Higashioka's back up to the big leagues for New York, helping bide the time to get through the rest of this regular season. It's a predicament New York will have in any number of positions, but with Austin Romine slated to be a free agent, will Kyle Higashioka be the backup to Gary Sanchez? Higgy swings and lofts it foul. We'll find the seats. The trades of Ryan McBroom and JP Fireeisen over the last weekend of the regular season, the Rail Riders from the Yankees, it clears up a little bit of 40-man confusion, guys that they would have had to protect, otherwise lose in the Rule 5 draft, and certainly those are 2 players that any number of teams would have had interest in. The 2-2, Higgy line drive towards center field. It's going to hang in the air. Lucas will make the catch. Aguiar towards third will take the bag with a throw in late. Productive out for Kyle Higashioka. Now 1 down in the inning. Eric Kratz to the plate. You mentioned Mike Tauchman and the decision the Yankees will have to make from a playing time perspective. With as dinged up as they were across the outfield, Tauchman has, I think, 1 more option left after this year. But Frazier has 1 more option left. Mike Ford would have options. Tyler Wade will have 1 remaining. Swing by Kratz. And the Trenton Thunder seemingly headed towards an Eastern League crown. There's a lot of talent in this organization. I think Davey Garcia's back. The rotation at the outset of next year with Mike King hopefully healthy. Pitch to Kratz, grounder towards third. Cronenworth will glove, throw on to first. Kratz with the RBI ground out. Rail Riders have scored twice tonight, and Eric has both runs batted in. 6-3 put away, base is clear, sends Alvarez to the plate. But a lot will happen this offseason, as it does every year. The Yankees, will they make any trades? The biggest thing that people will clamor for, and whether or not New York believes it, is starting pitching yet again. Who will they cycle in? Where will they find that next arm? Remember, they got a year out of Domingo Germán they were not supposed to get. They got that out of Domingo, what they should have gotten out of Luis Severino. How does the rotation change? Ground ball headed towards the middle. 2-hopper to the second baseman. Haley will throw to first in time, and that'll end 4-batter inning for the Rail Riders with a run across. No runs. Check that. 1 run. 1 hit. Nobody left. It's 11-2 to the 9th on NEPA Sports Work. Nathan Lucas, Jim Haley, and Jake Cronenworth, or perhaps someone else, do up this half inning for Durham, up 11-2. Lucas has a pair of hits and 4 bats and 3 runs driven in tonight. Breaking ball runs inside. He gets out of the way. Now 2 balls and no strikes the count from Brody Kerner.
You know, in the last half inning, Adam, talking about the Yankees and what they might look like in 2020.
Fastball wide, 3-0.
Just some of the decisions to make. Just pulling up some of the guys set to be free agents. Obviously, CC Sabathia going to retire. Didi Gregorius going to be a free agent.
There's a called strike.
Brett Gardner set to hit free agency. Dylan Betances going to be a free agent.
Kerner's 3-1, misses wide, ball 4. Lucas walks, leadoff man aboard here in the 9th inning for Jim Haley.
And one of the more intriguing decisions I think the Yankees are going to have to make is what do they do with Greg Bird? He's going to get to his second year in arbitration. He's missed, obviously, all the year and has been injured a lot the last couple of years. But Mike Ford's been playing so well lately that maybe the Yankees decide Voit and Ford are where they want to go at first base.
Swing and a miss. And they don't necessarily have to make that decision on Greg Bird. Remember, the beginning of this season, it was either going to be Bird or Voit. Somebody was set to be optioned out and play for the Rail Riders. Here's a line drive to left field. Cateau will field. Stopping at second base is Lucas. It's a single, the second hit of the game for Jim Haley, and back to the top of the order to Cronenworth, the league's best hitter this year. Maybe they don't have to make a decision there. Greg Bird healthy is a different scenario for the Yankees than what they really had to contend with this year. And if we learned anything, options are vital. The ability to have the guys that they do. Pitch taken for a strike on Cronenworth. Now, it played out that Ryan McBroom didn't get that opportunity with the Yankees. And that was unfortunate in my mind, not because we didn't get to see him in the Bronx with New York. Here's the 0-1 toss. Backs Cronenworth off the plate. But I'm thinking selfishly, I'm thinking about the Rail Riders next year. That McBroom could have been back for a third season with Scranton Wilkes-Barre as, again, maybe my odds-on favorite to win the IL MVP award. I think he should have won it this year. Fastball inside. Now 2-1 the count. But instead now gets the opportunity, whether the Royals see him as a potential first base option into 2020 or if he's going to open their year with Omaha. Certainly feasible. Here's the 2-1. Bouncing ball foul.
But I think the trade of McBroom and to the same extent JP Fireeisen says a lot about what the Yankees thought of those two players. They said, look, we've got a numbers game at their positions here, and we're not going to be able to add them to the 40-man and protect them from the Rule 5 draft, and we know that they're both good enough to be in the big leagues next year and stick, so they're not going to be drafted and returned.
Pitch taken for a ball, now full 3-2. Jake Cronenworth at the plate. Runners on at first and second and no one out in the top half of the 9th inning.
So obviously two very difficult decisions made by the Yankees. And
it's a swing and a foul by Cronenworth.
Just adversely affecting the Rail Riders over the final weekend of the regular season and into the playoffs.
Then you have to take into account the thing you can't really ponder. You can't decide the scope of. Remember the trade of Justice Sheffield and Eric Swanson, break ball, doesn't break.
Yeah.
That'll load the bases. To get Big Maple, to bring in James Paxton. What decisions in that regard will the Yankees make? What players are potentially out there for trade that could acquire the next big thing, and whether it's an ace or whether it is a 2 or a 3 for the rotation, because with all of the depth that has been created with big league experience this year, the one area where maybe they haven't created enough depth is in that starting rotation. Pitch breaks to Ladendorf for a strike. Bases loaded, nobody out, top half of the 9th.
And then there's the consideration that next year you're going to have a 26-man active roster every day in Major League Baseball.
Details. Pitch lofted in the air towards right field. Zahner makes the catch. The Bulls won't tag. They won't try to bring a 12th run across. It's a valid point.
Yeah, you need another full-time guy up in the big leagues, or another shuttle guy, basically.
Jason Coates.
It'll help the Major League roster. I don't think it changes too much about
Sure.
it. If we were making a move every couple of days, sure. But 341 roster moves from day one until today with the addition of Thairo Estrada on a rehab assignment. There's a swing and a miss by Coates. Bases loaded. He already has a run scored in the first inning and a 3-run homer in the fourth. Trying to put that late exclamation point on what is already pretty sizable margin of victory. The 0-1 popped backwards. There was a tweet by Benjamin Hill the other day from Minor League Baseball, and the Rail Riders apparently finished second, as far as anyone can tell, in all of Minor League Baseball with 341 roster moves, 3 behind the Salt Lake Bees.
I was going to say, what
344. Pitch runs in. It hits Coates. It looked like it caught the knob end of the bat. Instead, it's Kerner's second hit batter of the outing. It brings in a run.
Take another look on the replay, and I think it did hit the bat, but after it hit Coates' elbow guard. So that, on the replay, slowed down. Definitely, yeah, looked like it grabbed the elbow guard and then ended up deflecting off the bat. Just that double hit that you heard.
Bases still loaded. 1 out in the inning for Dylan Cousins. First pitch to Cousins, taken for a strike. He's 0 for 5 tonight with 3 strikeouts, a ground out, and a fly out. Coming up, a run across in the inning. And the base is loaded. Kerner fires, and Cousins lines it out towards right field. Station to station, RBI single for Dylan Cousins. It brings Jim Haley across for a 13-2 advantage, and Brady Williams stopping Jake Cronenworth over at third.
Good solid rip for Dylan Cousins. Just pulled it right through the shift. Not much of a shift on with the bases loaded, but made some good contact after a couple of strikeouts in his last 2 at-bats.
Greg Weisert's getting loose out in the bullpen, and his motion really reminds me of David Sosby. I had to look through the binoculars and remember David's on the injured list. Swing and a miss. Kevin Padlow at the plate with 1 away, and the base is still full. Just that follow-through with a sweeping leg kick across the body is very much what we saw from David Sosby. Here's the 0-1. Misses low. It'll be curious to see how the Yankees shape up out of spring training next year and hopefully just stay in shape, not get hurt. And you're bound to have the injuries, but 29 of them. Swing and a miss. That was season altering and not theirs. Half those injuries, and this could have been a 90-win Rail Riders team this year. Very easily. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 away. The pitch breaks into the dirt. Padlow watches. 2 runs across in the inning. Durham does have its bullpen active for the bottom half of the 9th. Middle infield thinking 2. Durham thinking title round. Again. The 2-2. Popped it up. Headed behind home. Kratz is going to run after it, but this is beyond the netting and into the seats. It'll be the 3rd straight season the Durham Bulls get to celebrate in some capacity. Be curious to know, to see what the reaction is when this final out happens. Is it as euphoric as winning a division title? With this game being really decided the last couple of innings, will they just take it in a go-about-your-business manner? Ball breaks inside. Now full 3-2 on Padlow.
I think the current 13-2 score makes it maybe a little anticlimactic for Durham to go big and over the top, but think it'll be more subdued, and then when they get back to their clubhouse, we'll probably be a couple of bottles of champagne popped.
High drive to left field. Cateau going back to the warning track. Gosuke will make the catch. It's a sacrifice fly for Padlow. Third run across in the inning. Cronenworth scores. 14-2 Durham in front. And Kerner likely to get one more batter, Dalton Kelly, although Weissert is ready to go in the bullpen if Jay Bell wants to make that 2-out pitching change.
I don't think tonight necessarily the night unless Dalton Kelly really just blows the roof off this one even further.
Swing and a foul. Eighth batter up this inning for Durham, scoring 4 times in the first, 2 in the third, 3 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, and 3 more here in the top half of the 9th inning. Kerner, a breath, the kick and pitch, misses high. The 1-1 home. High drive to right field. Back to the warning track wall, and it's gone. 3-run homer for Dalton Kelly. And the Bulls now lead it 17-2 with a 6th spot here in the inning.
Boy, Dalton Kelly just walloped that ball out, and in a year of the home run, that'll be the last pitch that Brody Kerner throws in 2019.
Call to the bullpen is made. A 15-run advantage for Durham. We're back in 60 on NEPA Sports Radio, The Game. Heller's 2 shutout innings with 5 strikeouts. Here's Rocky Gale to the plate. Gale, the 9th man up this inning for the Durham Bulls. 6 runs across. Weissert ready. Gale's first watch taken for a strike. Base is clear after the Dalton Kelly homer. Weissert's pitch. Swing and a roller to first. It's gloved by Mandy Alvarez, and a 9-batter inning comes to a close. 3 outs to go in the Rail Riders 2019 campaign. It's coming up next on NEPA Sports Radio, The Game. Gosuke Cateau to lead things off for Scranton Wilkes-Barre. Cateau ready. Zach Zahner, Wendell Rijo slated to follow. Pitch to Gosuke, down and inside. 17 runs on 13 hits for the Durham Bulls. 2 runs on 6 hits, 2 errors for the Rail Riders. 1-0 toss to Gosuke, swing and a miss. One of those guys that's been a nice surprise for this club this year. The outset of the season, he was going to be the 25th man. Turned out it was Trey Ambergy. He played more games this year than anyone else in a Rail Riders uniform. Pitch delivered low. Now 2-1 the count from Santos to Gosuke Cateau. Couple of arms with late game sides or just getting ready just in case on the bullpen for Durham. A swing and a foul.
Yeah, you talk about the season for Gosuke. Here in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, a .279 average during the regular season. Really good on-base percentage, decent slugging percentage. Career high 11 homers.
Pitch runs in, backs him off the plate.
Proven himself a capable defender at multiple positions, whether it was third base, first base. We've seen him in left field a couple of times here in the playoffs.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Off the plate, ball 4. Leadoff walk for Cateau will send Zach Zahner to the plate. By the way, our attendance tonight, 4,473. Nice crowd on hand for Game 3 of this postseason that was supposed to be played last night but postponed because of the weather. Stick with me, you got it. The effects of Hurricane Dorian stopping us from playing on Thursday night in Durham. Back the series up a day. Won't affect the Bulls too much. They'll have a couple of days off. Sounds like they'll stay here this evening and head over to Columbus tomorrow now, the way this one played out. Pitch in the dirt to Zach Zahner. 1 ball, no strike count to Zach. Finished the regular season with 9 homers. Was just on the cusp of being added to that double-digit home run crew. A couple of guys you thought would have gotten there but didn't. A few guys that just absolutely blew it out of the water. Mike Ford, Trey Ambergy, Ryan McBroom with the team-high 26. Here's the 1-1 home. Zahner swings and misses.
Beginning of the season, or I guess I should say when he got traded here, I don't think I ever would have put money on Breivik Valera joining the double-digit home run crew.
One ball, 2 strikes. Runner on at first base. The leadoff walk to Cateau. Pitch to Zahner. Check swing, runs inside. The victory is going to go to Aaron Slegers. The loss will be charged to Nick Nelson. 6 1/3 innings of 8 strikeout ball from Slegers. The Rail Riders couldn't contend with him or the offense from Durham. A swing and a foul back. They're into the top half of the 8th inning in Columbus. It's still 4-3. Gwinnett in front. Stripers need to win or their season is done. Two balls, 2 strikes. Cateau on at first base. Santos from the stretch peers over his shoulder for some reason. Zahner swings and fouls it off. They're not holding Gosuke on. So a glance at first base, Cateau's not going to take off.
Well,
and if he does, doesn't matter.
Pitchers generally are very superstitious. I suppose perhaps that's the case with Santos. He just runner on. I must look at first base no matter what.
2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Here's the pitch home to Zahner. That's taken low. Ball 3. The activity in the bullpen for Durham has quieted down. Three balls, 2 strikes. Now Gosuke can take off. He won't. Zahner skies it foul. Long run after it for Dylan Cousins, but it's into the front row of the seats.
Really nice at bat being worked by Zach Zahner here in the 9th inning. I mean, it's a 15-run game. And
about to see the 9th pitch of this at bat.
Yeah, he is not taking this at bat off, and that's nice to see.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Runner on at first base, Cateau. And again, Gosuke did not take off on that last 3-2 count. Pitch home. Zahner watches called, strike 3.
That was a 15-run in the 9th inning, 3rd strike call. That appeared to be a little high. Zach Zahner thought so, at least. He was ready to head down to first with a walk, instead punched out for the first out of the inning.
Now Wendell Rijo to the plate. They'll employ a shift for Rijo. Leave the first baseman Kelly all by his lonesome on the right side. Rijo, then Terrence Gore, the Rail Riders here. First pitch. Wendell hits it high in the air towards center field, sends Lucas back. Still on the way back. Will make the catch on the warning track. Now 2 down in the inning. Rijo come up with a couple of big flies in key spots for Scranton Wilkes-Barre this year. This time through, Too far to straight away. Now Terrence Gore to the plate. Talk about Kyle Higashioka, might be a candidate to join the Yankees in the next 24 to 48 hours. See where Thairo Estrada goes, if it's back to New York or if he goes to Trenton to play on an additional rehab assignment through the Eastern League Championship Series. Pitch to Gore, taken for a strike. Terrence was a guy who was acquired postseason pinch running. That said, Quentin Barre was acquired last year for postseason pinch running. Gore's played more than Barre did, certainly. Lofts this one to right field. Dylan Cousins headed underneath. He's there to make the catch. And the Durham Bulls are headed to the Governor's Cup Championship Series yet again. They'll take the field. They won't storm it. They will celebrate a bit. Durham gets a 17-3 victory, and they sweep the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders in the first round of the Governor's Cup playoffs. Final line at 17 runs on 13 hits and no errors for the Bulls. 2 runs on 6 hits and 2 errors for Scranton Wilkes-Barre. Slegers gets the win, the loss to Nick Nelson. No saves needed. In front of good sizable Saturday night crowd of 4,473. The Rail Riders fall and the season comes to a close. Our post-game show starts next on